Finally did it, guys. We hit 10,000 subscribers. It's now in the rear view. Now it's onward and upward. And I'm about to reveal a goal that Joey doesn't even know about. I kind of came up with it last night. It's a big one. It is a big one, but I think we can do it. You guys have proven you have answered the bell. So the next goal for Golden Blue Dude is 25,000 subscribers by the national championship. That's 15,000
Ooh.
subscribers from now to the end of February. Does that mean we're going to hit it? Not necessarily, but it is a high goal, and I do think it's doable. So we haven't talked about it, Joey. I just laid that on you. What's your initial reaction?
I hope it pans out. I was going to set the goal at 15,000 by the end of the year, but 25,000 by the end of February. Um, that could be a good goal, but it's gonna be a tough
Right.
one.
I got you. Well, okay. What was your reaction? Remember whenever we first started hitting this boom, and I said, Joey, I'm going to keep this going. I think we can hit 10,000 by the backyard brawl. What was your now? This is at the beginning of the boom, and things were going really, really good. What was your initial reaction to that?
Well, I thought we hit the 10,000, but you said that I think we can hit 15,000 by kickoff. I said I think we can hit 11.5 by kickoff.
I thought I said
Remember?
10.
I know you said 15. I said I think we can hit 11.5 by kickoff, but I don't think we can hit 15.
Oh, okay. I must have been
Yeah, our
half
goal was
asleep or
10. Our
something.
goal was 10 by kickoff. Our goal was
Okay.
10 by kickoff.
Well,
You
yeah,
got
that's what I'm
that.
saying. Like, the goal. I thought that's how it started out, like from the beginning.
Yeah, our goal was 10,000 by kickoff, but then you said I think we can hit 15, and I told you I think we'll hit 11.5 by kickoff, but not 15.
Oh, okay. I honestly don't remember saying 15, but you know how my memory is. It's not very good. Quick reminder to everybody in the chat: if you haven't, please hit the like button. Very, very important to the video. That's not even saying that you like the video. I know it's labeled as a like, but that's not really saying that you like the video. All that's doing is helping the video hit the YouTube algorithm, and whenever it hits the YouTube algorithm, it gets suggested more. More people see it. More people click on it, and that's how you grow a video. That's how you do it right there. Um, if you have a question for me or Joey or anybody else that will be coming on later, we have some guests lined up. Don't know exactly when they're going to pop in, but we have several people that are going to be popping in. But if you have any questions for us, comments, you want to troll us, whatever, best way to get our attention is the super chat button. It is that little dollar sign that you see on your bottom right hand corner. Anything you put in that super chat, we will put it on the screen and we will read the super chat and we will answer it or address it to the best of our ability. Joey, tell the promoter, explain the promotion, not only of getting our attention with the super chat, but what they are going to be entered to win by super chatting.
Great. All right. So we have a couple of prizes that have been donated by Traveling Fools. If you have not subbed up Traveling Fools, be sure and do that. Somebody type in TF in the chat, and it'll give you a link to Traveling Fools so that you guys can sub him up. Um, he has a great channel. But anyway, he donated a couple of nice prizes. He donated a game trail cam. That's what I'm trying to say. GBD showing it there on the screen. That was good. That will be a drawing at the end of this month. Anybody that super chats throughout the month of August, we're going to have your name. We will have a drawing for that, a random drawing for the game cam trail, and that's got a value of about $129. It's a really nice game cam trail. Then the second prize drawing will be at the end of the month as well, and it's for anybody that shops in our merchandise store, and makes any purchase. You'll be entered to win this set of night vision binoculars. They're also a camera. So the that's for anybody that makes a purchase in the store. They value at about $180. Very nice. I mean, these things are super cool because they'll take video, they'll take pictures, and they're night vision or they're daytime binoculars. So anybody that hunts, I tell you what, I don't hunt, but I'd love to have the night vision ones. But I'm not eligible to win them. But anybody that makes a purchase in the store can have a chance to win those. So
So special
that's
shout out to Traveling Fools. He's supporting the channel like crazy. So if you haven't subbed him out, what are you thinking? He's got a great channel over there as well. So the other day,
yeah.
whenever we were starting to come up on 10,000 subscribers, I actually went back and started looking at some dates as far as when we reached some milestones. So I've actually been saying that this channel has turned 3 years old. It actually hasn't. It actually hasn't. I went back and looked at my timestamps, and the first video that I ever put out was August 24th, 2019. So we're about to turn 3 years old, but we're not there yet. So we hit 10,000 before we turned 3 years old. So first video ever by what eventually turned out to be Golden Blue Dude. It wasn't at first, but first video was August 24th. The date that we reached 1,000 was March 8th, 2021. So it took us a year and a half to get 1,000 subscribers. And then it took us a year and what? 4 months? 3 months? 4 months? Wait, March, April, May, June, July. Basically 4 months. A year and 4 months to get from 1,000 to 10,000. So I think this is really starting to pick up. I'm super excited about it. And we're not even to the college football season. Usually, college football YouTube channels do the best during the college football season. So I'm excited to see what Golden Blue Dude can do during the regular season. And I think it's going to be a very interesting regular season. I think there's going to be some teams that come out of nowhere. I think some big names that maybe we expect are going to do good, maybe fall off a little bit. I think this is going to be a very parity riddled regular season, especially in the Big 12. I mean, we're talking Oklahoma. They're having issues, but people are still, picking Oklahoma to win the Big 12. Baylor, yeah, but they did lose some production on the defense. And, I know the quarterback that is projected to be the starter beat the quarterback that was the starter last year. And Baylor had so much success with that quarterback, but he's still an unknown. Then you have Oklahoma State, who lost their defensive coordinator, and the Cowboys' bread and butter has been their defense. Then you have Kansas State, who a lot of people have as a dark horse. And then there's West Virginia, who's had a good defense under Neil Brown, just a terrible offense. And they focused on the offense in this offseason. So if they can solve the offense problem, West Virginia could be, a dark horse contender in the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is a big question mark this year. And then there's Texas. Texas has the talent to win the Big 12. It's can they put it together?
Texas has the talent to win a national championship.
Yes.
Problem is that last statement. Can they put it together? Can they solve all of their culture problems down there? Can they solve their administration problems of wanting to be in the middle of the football program instead of letting the coach do his job? There's huge problems at Texas with that, and they say Steve Sarkisian's the person that can straighten all that out. He's only been there for 1 year. Can it be straightened out in year two? I don't know. I mean, they've had a lot of problems in the past, so I think that they're going to be looking at an 8-4 season. Texas maybe going to be 8-4 is what I think. I think that the Big 12, like you said, there's a lot of polarity in the Big 12. And one thing that I've looked at is everybody talks about, well, West Virginia lost a lot of people to the transfer portal. Well, so did Oklahoma, but you still put Oklahoma up there. What?
Yeah, for West Virginia, there's only one name that really hurt. I mean, they like to point out Nick Troy Fortune, Derek Porter Jr. Oh, your leading receiver. Yeah, but all of our receivers were near where his production was. Mesidor is really the only one that really hurts us. Nick Troy actually got beat out, and he wanted to be a starter. He saw he was not going to be a starter, so he transferred to a group of 5 team so he could start. So they don't understand the context of that.
And Akeem Mesidor, don't get me wrong, he's a super fantastic player, and Miami got a good one when they got him. He's really good. But a lot of his was because they were double teaming Dante Steele. So a lot of his production came from them having to double team Dante Steele, and he just got free and was able to get in the backfield. So I think
they're going to be keying in on him at Miami. So hopefully he can handle that.
and they're going to have a key player that is also getting double teamed at Miami to break Akeem Messidor loose. Not that he
Yeah.
won't be a force on his own, but it's just that he had a lot of sacks and a lot of tackles for loss last year, mainly because Dante Stills was getting double teamed. So it's just going to be
Right. I
next
would
man
agree.
up in that position. It'll be next man up in that position. Dante Stills will be double teamed again. Somebody will be breaking free. So
Gotcha. So, which I'm going to give you a list of teams real quick. Which team out of this list that looks like they're setting themselves up for high expectations that could potentially fall flat on their face? You ready?
I'm ready.
USC. USC. They're setting themselves up for high expectations. Okay. USC, Nebraska, because even though they went 3-9, their largest loss was by 9. All they need is just a little bit extra to get over the hump. Then we have Oklahoma. Talking about, Lincoln Riley was a good head coach, but he couldn't get us to the playoffs. But they think Brent Venables is that guy, right? Mario Cristobal at Miami, who actually went out and did very well in the transfer portal. Georgia. Georgia fans think that they're going to repeat as national champs and go 15-0 in the regular season because of Stetson Bennett and their offense. And I literally see, Stetson Bennett the fourth will win the Heisman. No, that's not going to happen. So there's Georgia on the list, or Tennessee. Tennessee just went 7-6, but Hendon Hooker looked like a potential dark horse Heisman Trophy contender. Their schedule's a little bit easier. Or maybe there's a team that I didn't list that you think has the biggest chance of falling flat on their face after building up their expectations so high.
I've thought about this a lot, and I think a team that is they're either going to be fantastic or they could fall flat on their face, and that is Kentucky. You don't have them on your list. Kentucky had a very good year last year, expected to have a very good year this year. I think they're either one upset away over Georgia this year of playing for the SEC championship, or they're going to fall flat on their face and lose 4 or 5 games.
You might be
But
right.
now, out of the list that you had, I think the biggest one that could be looking at a falling flat on their face is Oklahoma, just simply because there's so much. They've lost so many players that transferred out. They lost a quarterback to South Carolina. They lost a quarterback to USC. Ain't that
Right.
funny? They lost 2 quarterbacks to USC, and they were 2 different teams. But
Right.
so they lost 2 of their best quarterbacks. They lost their best receiver. They've lost a lot of players on Oklahoma. So can they rebuild and just reload like Oklahoma normally does? And under a new coaching staff, I say that's going to be difficult. Now
Yeah.
at when you get to when you talk about USC, on the other hand, and Lincoln Riley, well, Lincoln Riley took a lot of players with him from Oklahoma, so they
Right.
know his system, and so he's not really he's got a chance to fall flat on his face, of course, but he's got all the key positions in place to be a good team. Where Oklahoma, starting out with a new coaching staff, they could fall flat on their face. But like I say, my team that I'm going to be watching a lot this year is Kentucky, because I think they're one big upset away from being playing in the SEC championship game. I think, or they could fall flat on their face.
Right. I would agree with that. I think one team that's kind of on the flip side of that would be South Carolina. I think a lot of people think that South Carolina might be a little bit better than what they were last year, but their record might actually stay the same or be a little bit worse. I disagree. I think South Carolina is capable of upsetting either Georgia or Texas A&M at home. I think they're going to win one of those, and I think it's going to be Georgia. And who knows, if they pull the upset over Georgia, they might have the confidence to pull the upset over Texas A&M. I think South Carolina could be a solid 8-4 team this year and be in the mix for the SEC East title, but I don't think they're going to win it. I think ultimately Georgia still wins the SEC East, but it's going to be a lot tougher than what it was last year. They're going to be in many more 50-50 football games than what they were last year. And, if you're in more 50-50 football games, then you have a higher risk of losing. if you look at their regular season last year, Georgia's chances of losing a game in the regular season, not very high, because none of the games were 50-50 football games. The closest one that could be considered was the first game against Clemson. And yeah, it was a close score, but if you watch the game, Georgia controlled that game. So their entire season last year, Georgia wasn't in any 0 50-50 football games. And this year, I think they will be in several. So their chances of losing a game is going to be much, much higher than what it was last year.
Right. And another team too, and the only reason I'm gonna put this team in the mix is possibly, could fall flat on their face, is because of coaching. So like last year, everybody was real high on Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell was the hot topic. Iowa State's going to be a super fantastic team. They were preseason ranked in the top 10. Projected to be in the Final Four or in the playoffs, and and Matt Campbell sort of fell flat on his face. Well, the same thing may hold true for Baylor this year. Dave Aranda, he's a hot name right now. Everybody's talking about how great of a coach he is, and he is a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I love Dave Aranda. Baylor, if they have a bad season, all of a sudden, that stock could drop as well, just like Matt Campbell. So Baylor's another team to watch. They could fall flat on their face. Who knows?
Right. I would agree with that. Mayhem Matthew popping on by. What's going on, buddy?
What's up? Congratulations on 10,000 subscribers.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's been a grind. That's why I've been telling people, Golden Blue Dude hitting 10,000 subscribers proves that you don't necessarily have to be talented to get to 10,000. I did it through quantity. I mean, we've pumped out a crap ton of videos, pretty much every day. So it's been a grind, but it's nice to see your work finally pay off. I honestly didn't think we'd get to 10,000 before the channel turned 3 years old. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a grind because I'm only at 137, and I've been almost 8 or 9 months. So
right.
It's definitely a grind to get to 10,000 in less than 3 years.
Yeah. And dude, that's the one thing. Don't give up. Find your niche, and I promise you, once you find that, you will take full advantage of it, and you'll hit that proverbial boom. I see the quality in your content, man. You're going to get there.
Now, I want to talk about what Joey was talking about Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a really good head coach. I think he's going to do great things for Baylor. I even have Baylor in my top 4 making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, I do too.
But I think Joey, what he's saying is Baylor could fall flat on their face. All of us think that Baylor is going to be in the Big 12 title hunt, probably going to win the Big 12 and have a chance to get to the playoffs. But what if some things happen that we don't foresee? Dave Aranda, this is only his 3rd year at Baylor. Same thing with, we could say the same thing about Mel Tucker at Michigan State. The only difference is they did lose Kenneth Walker. So a lot of people are saying that Michigan State's going to have take a step back this year, including myself. Baylor didn't lose the personnel that Michigan State did, but they are in the same category as far as a coach only in their, 2nd or 3rd year. So I agree with Mayhem Matthew. We haven't seen enough of Dave Aranda to be 100% positive that Baylor's going to make the playoffs, but they have the talent to make the playoffs. It could be an either-or situation. They have the talent.
Baylor,
if they play like they did last year, they're going to get to the play. They're going to get to the playoffs more than likely. But what if there's something that we're not seeing that happens?
Right.
Baylor did lose their quarterback. Baylor did lose their quarterback.
They didn't necessarily lose him. He was beat out.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, Dave Aranda sees something in this new quarterback. Forgive me, I can't remember his name, but
is it Shapen or Bohannon? What was last year, Bohannon?
Yeah.
So this year it's going to be Shapen, I think.
So
Shapen.
This guy, I mean, last year the quarterback was really good. I mean, he won the Big 12 and won the Sugar Bowl. I mean, you got to give props to the guy. So if you get beat out, that means Dave Aranda's seeing something even better in this quarterback, and he's seeing something better with the offense, and something is clicking with that offense. Right. So I do believe that Baylor's going to take a step forward in offense, and then defensively, I do believe Dave Aranda is a defensive-minded coach. I mean, didn't we see that at LSU?
Yep, exactly right.
I wonder if you
know what else it shows? It shows that it's an actual quarterback competition. He didn't just hand the job over to the quarterback that won him double-digit games last year. It was a for real quarterback competition, and Shapen won. So I think that bodes well for Baylor as well.
What we were answering, Mayhem, was Golden Voodoo put out gave me a list of teams and asked me which one I thought could fall flat on their face. Baylor wasn't one of them, but I mentioned Baylor could, because if you remember last year, everybody was high on Iowa State too, and look what happened to them. They fell flat on their face. So that was what I was comparing it to.
Now, Matt Campbell, he was pretty much offered, or he was in the hunt for every single coaching job out there, from what I was seeing. And maybe he saw something in Iowa State this year that he's like, well, I have a pretty good solid team. I could go 8, 9, 10 wins and still have a job, rather than going to a team like, let's just say Auburn, for example, right?
Yeah.
That's a dumpster fire, and then I win 7 or 6 games and get fired in my 3rd year.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta take all that into consideration. I don't think right now that Matt Campbell is a hot commodity because of what happened last year. But after the 2019 and 2020 season, Matt Campbell was at the very top of, the coaching list as far as new coaches for all these open spots. I think right now, though, Iowa State needs to have a great year for him to get back on the top of that list. Thank you, Country Roads, for the $5 donation. Says, let's go. You're killing it. Keep up the great work. Talk is Pitt. We all know you are scared. Which, by the way, that video that I put out yesterday on Talk is Pitt, he did make a response. So y'all know that I have to make a response to his response. So get ready for the battle between Talk is Pitt and Golden Blue Dude. It's going to get pretty heated. And it's all for your entertainment. We're going to argue back and forth and take shots at each other, and it's all for your entertainment. There you go. That's how we do it. It's all for the people, all for the people.
Now, I asked a question.
Go ahead.
Last night in Traveling Pools, I asked a question, and I said, which state has the most national championships in Power 5? And of course, nobody knew what state had the most national championships in Power 5. So I said West Virginia does. And the way I said it was because Michigan coach Fielding Yost was from West Virginia, and he had 6 titles. Southern Cal coach John McKay from West Virginia had 4. Alabama's Nick Saban from West Virginia has 6. Florida State's Jimbo Fisher from West Virginia has 1. Lou Holtz from West Virginia has 1. So that's 18 national championships out of the state of West Virginia.
I thought you meant team. I was like, what?
No, I know. But I was saying state. So it's kind of funny that I'm not trying to change the subject, but that the coaching carousel out of West Virginia is so prestigious. I mean, it's really unreal. And I think Nick Saban put it best when he said, and Jimbo Fisher says this too, if you're in West Virginia, you have a choice. You go into coal mines, or you get an education, and you got to get out and make something of yourself. And so it was his drive to stay out of the coal mines. It was their drive to stay out of the coal mines. And,
was Bobby Bowden not from West Virginia?
No, he was not. But he sent all of his kids to West Virginia University, and he loves the state.
Right.
So.
Gotcha. Yeah, but it also shows the dropping of the ball for West Virginia University not being able to retain any of those coaches. We gotta find a way to where we can generate more money to where we can keep those. I mean, let's be honest, Hall of Fame coaches. They're born in West Virginia, but we can't get them to come to West Virginia University and coach. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, every one of them are Hall of Fame coaches or future Hall of Fame coaches. So,
yeah.
Now, I do have a question, Golden Blue Dude. A lot of people I've been on a lot of streams, and a lot of people are wondering, who is JT Daniels going to throw to? What wide receivers do you think at West Virginia is going to step up this year to get them at that 10-win season?
Well, they get to 10 wins if the ball bounces their way in a couple of close games. I think they're a solid 8-4, 9-3 team with the possibility of 10 wins. But the receivers that's going to be targeted is going to be Bryce Ford Wheaton, Sam James, and Caden Prather. And then there's also an under-the-radar wide receiver by the name of Reese Smith, who won a scholarship in the offseason. As a West Virginia fan, we saw highlights of the spring game. And Reese Smith may not be the most talented wide receiver out there, but this dude sacrifices his body. Some of the catches that he made in the spring game, you're like, holy crap, that had to hurt. I mean, he laid out, he stretched, he left himself open over the middle to get laid out. Didn't care, got the job done, made the catches. It's not just made the effort and dropped the ball. No, he made the effort and made the catch. So the dude is showing that he's willing to put his body on the line just for West Virginia to get a first down. So I think he's a name that people need to keep their eyes on. And he literally earned a scholarship because of him doing that.
Now, who do you think? Who are you most excited to see at wide receiver position?
Caden Prather, by far. I think he's set to have a breakout season. Last year, the problem with West Virginia last year was their wide receiving core was too large. So in the offseason, we actually did addition through subtraction. I know that term gets used way too much, but it really is the case. We had like 5 or 6 wide receivers that had like 600 yards worth of catching. And our leading wide receiver, who was he transferred out, Winston Wright, had like 688, but there was 4 others that was right there with him. Our wide receiving core was too crowded. It was too much. They couldn't get their rhythm in. Nobody could have a breakout year because there was just too many of them. So I think Caden Prather has the talent, the ability. The dude can high point the ball. It kind of reminds me of Randy Moss. Nobody is on Randy Moss's level. Do not misunderstand me, but kind of reminds me of that. And he has a lot of speed. So I think Caden Prather is going to be a problem for secondaries, especially if JT Daniels stays healthy. I mean, if JT Daniels stays healthy, what is his strength? The long ball. So you have a wide receiver that can make that happen, and a quarterback whose strength is the long ball. I mean, that's bad news for defenses right there.
Right. And, I just wanted to ask, so if you had one question defensively and one question offensively, what would it be?
The question for the offense is kind of a 2-part. Number 1, can JT Daniels stay healthy? Number 2, can the offensive line open up lanes for the running game? Because that was one thing that the offensive line did struggle with last year. They really didn't struggle with pass protection. The problem with pass protection was our running backs weren't picking up their assigned blocks. And the second thing was Jarrett Deggy would step into a sack. Literally, the one spot to not go to, he would step to that spot and get sacked. Whereas, if he would have taken a step in the other direction, he wouldn't have been sacked. So I'm more worried about or just questioning the ability of the offensive line opening up holes for the running back. And then, of course, JT Daniels staying healthy. Now, for the defensive side of the ball, defensive line and linebackers will be the strength. We're solid on cornerback. I'm worried about the safeties a little bit because of inexperience. But we did get Marcus Floyd and Jasir Cox out of the transfer portal, and they're hybrid safety linebackers, so we might run a lot more nickel this year. But as far as the number one concern, I would have to say would be safety on the defense.
Well, I really appreciate you letting me come on. I know I cut it short, but I'm gonna hop off of here and I'll be watching in the live chat.
Awesome. Appreciate you, bud.
Man, take care, man.
Y'all check out Mayhem Matthew. He talks college football as well. Appreciate Timothy Couchner for the $9.99 donation. I've always loved that last name because it reminded me of Jake Couchner, one of the quarterbacks for West Virginia back in '93. So that last name always pops out to me whenever I see it. We're gonna have a few other people popping in. We didn't schedule it though, so we don't know the time frame and all that stuff. So it happens when it happens. So we'll see who pops in next.
Let's talk about Jake the Snake Kelchner for a second. Boy, he was a tough quarterback. If you haven't seen 1993 West Virginia and Boston College, what had happened? Boston College had beat number 1 Notre Dame the week before they played West Virginia. West Virginia was number 3, I think, number 2 or 3 in the nation. Notre Dame was number 1, and 4. Notre Dame was number 1. They got beat by Boston College. Boston College had to play Morgantown the next week in Boston. I mean, it wasn't a home game for West Virginia,
right?
And Jake the Snake was injured. Jake the Snake Kelcher was injured, and he put on a gutsy performance. And we beat Boston College there, but it took everything Jake the Snake Kelchner had. You ought to go back and watch that game. That's a very good game.
Yeah, and it was actually an interception that sealed the deal because they were going for a game-winning touchdown. So. That was one of the all-time great defensive stops. West Virginia has a lot of good ones to end the year or a game. And last year they had one against Virginia Tech. I was in the stands on that 4th and goal. I was thinking in my head, this might be another epic collapse by West Virginia, or I might be part of one of the greatest goal line stands in West Virginia history. And luckily for me, fortunately for me, it turned out to be one of the greatest goal line stands in West Virginia history. And it was against Virginia Tech. I was a part of history. Loved it. Loved it. That was awesome. I'm going to be at the Backyard Brawl this year. I'm super excited. I put out a trash talk video yesterday that actually targeted Talkus Pitt because we have this bet to where if West Virginia wins, then I get to record him singing Country Roads, put it out on video. But if Pitt wins, then I have to wear a Pitt jersey, and he gets to record me, and I have to put out a video with me wearing a Pitt jersey on. Now, the deal was we were both going to go to the Backyard Brawl and, do the bet there, right? Well, I got my ticket, and I come to find out that, he said he tried, which I'll take him for his word. He tried, but the tickets, every time he tried to get a ticket, it said it was bought up. Now he says he has something else going on that Saturday. What do you make of Talkus Pitt in this situation in the Backyard Brawl?
Yeah, I mean, I wish he'd show up. I really do. And I told him that I would try to find him a ticket. And
right.
I said, if I find you a ticket, will you go? And he says, as long as it's not $200. Well, that's going to be pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
Because they're going for they're going for $300 and $400 now.
I got lucky with my $200 ticket.
Right. His best bet might be to show up on game day and wait till after kickoff and see if some scout still has a ticket out there, and maybe he can get him one for $70-$80 or something.
Right. Well, even if he doesn't get in, he could just show up and we could hang out outside the stadium, maybe. And then whichever way the bet goes, we could do the video outside of the stadium. I mean, I would be open to that. What about you?
Yeah, that'd be great. He ought to show up. Maybe he'll come in here today and you can talk to him about that.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. That Backyard Brawl, man, not only is it, long time coming, it should be played every single year, in my opinion. Non-conference rivalry games happen all the time. I mean, South Carolina, Clemson, Louisville, Kentucky, Georgia Tech. The list goes on and on. Notre Dame, USC. So why could they not keep the backyard brawl going. I mean, it is one of the best. It is one of the best rivalries in all the nation. So
One
I'm a little
thing
bit
about
upset
West
with that.
Virginia. One thing about West Virginia is nobody can say they schedule soft because we schedule 11 Power Fives, and
Right.
we've got 4 years now with Pitt, home and homes. And there's 4 years of it, and then next year, starting next year, we drop in Virginia Tech from the schedule, but we're picking up Penn State, which is also an old rivalry, and that's a home and home. And then after
Right.
the Penn State, we go and we're picking up Alabama for a home and home. So West Virginia don't schedule soft. That's one thing about West Virginia. We always play 11 Power Fives, and we always pick some uh, either big rivalry games or tough games. What
Right.
does everybody think about week 0 and uh, any game that you want to watch in week 0? How about Northwestern Purdue? Is that any interest to anybody?
North. Do what? Who?
Week 0, Northwestern, and is it Purdue they're playing in Ireland?
Nebraska and Ireland. It's Northwestern and
Ah,
Nebraska.
Northwestern,
Yeah,
Nebraska. That's right.
I actually am interested in that because I think that's a potentially fireable offense if Scott Frost loses that first game. I think that
Yeah.
it is entirely possible that if Nebraska loses to Northwestern Ireland, Scott Frost is going to be fired immediately after the game
I,
because he has
I
not
think
had
Scott
one.
Frost is a great coach. I
Yeah,
think Scott
I
Frost is a
agree.
great coach. I think he's had some trouble at Nebraska, just like Neil Brown. I think is a great coach and had some trouble at West Virginia. I think he was left a mess. I think Scott Frost was left a mess. I think Scott's figuring it out and getting his people in place. Last year, without a doubt, there's not a better 4-8 team in the country. And
Yeah.
so this year they could turn a lot of those games around. And I think Nebraska will be an 8-4 team this year. I do. Um, but like you say, that first game is going to be pivotal to see if Scott Frost even has a job when they head back to the United States.
I was gonna say, Talkus Pit, if you would send me an email on my email address, riffsuck@gmail.com, because I tried to send you an email, but there's a bunch of Talkus Pits, so I don't know which one is yours. So if you email me, I can email you back the link to this live show, and we can actually bring you on.
Here, I tell you what, Falcons Pit, I'll email it to you right now.
You got it? Okay. And I'm also
Yeah, I
going
got it.
to, I forgot to email Jeff Grimm about this, so I'm going to send Jeff Grimm an invite. I don't know how I forgot to invite him, but there was just so many people that I was trying to think of. Um, that's probably why I forgot. Well, Joey, you know me for sure. Like if I get a lot on my plate,
Yeah.
I am going to forget something. Like I just am. All right, let me make
Okay,
sure I
Falcons
got
Pit, I've
it.
emailed it.
All right, so I messaged you, Jeff Graham, so you can come on whenever. All right, Anthony Zappin, thank you for the $5 donation. Says, Talkus Pit is full of blank. Backyard Brawl is on a Thursday, not a Saturday. Did somebody say Saturday?
I don't think so.
If I said Saturday, I didn't mean to. I know it's on a Thursday that I'm going. So,
Yeah.
Another interesting thing about West Virginia, the Backyard Brawl, I think Virginia Tech and Baylor is all three of those games are on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. It's just another one of those under the radar type of clues that could be pointing to West Virginia flirting with the ACC. Not necessarily pointing to West Virginia going, but flirting with the idea. Have you thought about that, Joey, as far as our schedule goes?
I have. I have. That's one thing that I said a while back is that, there are all these Thursday night games. West Virginia used to dominate Thursday night, if you remember when we was in the Big East. And
Oh, yeah.
we had really high television rankings. And I think they want to see if that's still there. So.
Right. Hold on, talk. Thank you, Ishmael Love, for the $9.99 donation. Says, looking forward to your channel. when we get to actual football. Me too, man. Me too. The off season, you're trying to fill your channel with content, but the main focus, the main attraction, the headliner is the actual college football season. So I 100% agree with that. Talk is Pitt. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much on my lunch break, so
Oh,
I only have a little bit of time.
No problem. So, did you hear what Joey said earlier?
Yeah, Joey, the price didn't bother me. I just didn't. I didn't think after my boss told me that I couldn't go that it wouldn't even be a thing. So honestly, the price is not even the problem. I can afford the tickets.
Okay.
That was never the issue. Finances were never the issue.
You have to work. He's making you work.
Yeah, he's making me work. Well, I got a new boss. The problem is I have a new boss, and he's not honoring my time off. And whenever Golden Blue Dude posted that video is exactly when I found out that I wasn't gonna actually be able to go.
So you won't even be able to show up like outside.
Yeah, I won't even be able to show up. I'll actually be at work, but I won't get off work until an hour and a half after the game already started.
Okay. All right, I got you.
So, and that's why I said to Coos in yesterday in the video, since I can't honor my side of the bet, I sure as hell, excuse my language, don't expect you to honor your side either. I'm not like that.
Well, I appreciate that. Maybe we can work something out for. We'll work something out as far as maybe a different type of bet. How about that?
Yeah, we can definitely do a different type of bet. I have no problem. Like, if you want me to sing Country Roads and embarrass myself and then check myself into a nutboard afterwards, I'll do that.
Yeah, I guess the only issue that I had. Yeah, the only issue that I had was if West Virginia does lose, I am not buying a Pitt jersey like that.
I didn't expect you to do that either. Because, I mean, you even said one time on your live stream about a year ago that if I ever sent you a Pitt jersey, you'd burn it.
but what I was saying, like the reason us being at the game at the same time was important was you bringing the Pitt jersey, and then of course I would have honored my side of the bet by wearing the Pitt jersey and doing the thing. So I guess the main thing is figuring out what I can do if Pitt wins. You can still record and I can put it out on my channel, but I'm not buying a Pitt jersey, so we need to figure out the other side of the bet.
I don't know. I'd have to think on that one because everything that I'm coming up with is very mean.
Very mean.
Yeah. So I gotta be civil in this one because, like you said the other night, it's a symbol that Pitt and West Virginia fans can get along. Right. Which is like, if you see me, Joey Foster, like especially if you see me arguing with the West Virginia and it gets out of control, just know I didn't start it. I don't do that.
Hey, I tell you what, here's something we could do. So you've seen Country Roads, if on video.
It's a good song. I won't lie, it's a very good song.
If Pitt wins, we'll create a T-shirt that says Pitt and gives a score, and West Virginia and gives their score, and sell it in our store at cost for 1 week.
Actually, yeah, that could be. Yeah,
and I have to buy that one. I can buy that and wear it on video.
Yeah. All you'd have to do is just buy a blue shirt and just print it out on there. I mean, it's not like I mean, you're still gonna cringe when you have to buy the blue shirt, and you will have to buy the blue shirt.
Okay.
Right. Well, he's going to cringe when he sees it in his merchandise. He's going to cringe when he sees it in his merchandise store with the score if Pitt is a winner. So, how's that?
Oh! To make it even worse, on the back of the T-shirt, put 13 and 9.
Oh, if we're going to do that, then we need to add more to our bet.
Oh man! But
now we're getting way out there. Now we're getting way out there.
I'm in a good mood today. Last night I was in a bad mood, a very, very bad mood. So if I came off aggressive or said anything that may have been out of line, dude, I really apologize. But that was the worst time for my subscribers who had my phone number to keep blowing up my phone saying, Golden Bluetooth did this, Golden Bluetooth did that. Oh my God, you got to respond.
I like it though. They're on top of it. Nice.
I do have some very loyal followers that are very annoying.
Oh, I got you.
That's good to have.
That's to be expected. That's to be expected. But the saga, I predict that the saga of Golden Bluetooth and Talk's Pit is going to continue.
Look, God forbid.
I'm sorry, it's entertaining.
It is entertaining. And I have later on, I have a show coming up with the 304 podcast later on today. So my first collab.
Good guys.
With Marcus Dean, who I'm very confused on who he actually likes, but because it feels like one week he likes North Carolina, then he's a closet Pitt fan, then he likes this team, then he likes that team. I'm thinking he likes West Virginia, and he's afraid that I'm going to react badly or something like that. I don't know.
Wasn't that the group that we did a podcast with that one time? It was a 304 podcast, wasn't it? I'm thinking. Joey, do you remember the guys that talk everything state of West Virginia? Is that them or is that a different one?
I know.
I don't know.
They know who you are, so I know they know who you are. They've even said it dozens of times. But they never told me if they ever collabed with you or not. That was never mentioned.
Maybe it's Jordan. Are you talking about Jordan and Bradley? Oh, goodness. Country Rose podcast, maybe?
No, 304. Completely different.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like the podcast that we did that was audio only. You remember that, Joey?
Yeah, that is. But that wasn't 304, was it? That was West Virginia. That was West Virginia podcast.
There you go. Okay.
You know that's my.
I might reach out to the real name podcast and do something with them.
You know that's my real name, right?
What?
Jordan.
Jordan? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's me. There's Jordan Bowman.
I thought your first name was Talk.
Well, it is Talk because I talk a lot of crap. And even if you guys do somehow beat us, you best believe I'm still going to be talking crap.
Oh, I would expect nothing less.
But you're going to sing Country Roads while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's not like anybody in Pittsburgh hates that song. I mean, I actually don't even live in Pittsburgh. I live 40 minutes outside the city.
Right.
Hey, I actually only live 25 minutes away from but you know where Pinesville, West Virginia is?
Oh yeah.
35 minutes depending on traffic.
Yeah.
Hey, on a serious note, are you a Steelers fan?
No.
No, I was just going to see if you knew that Lynn Dawson had entered hospice. I didn't know.
No,
anybody knew that.
I only watched the Steelers because of Kenny Pickett, who did absolutely amazing last night.
Did they play?
Who the hell did they play? Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played Seattle. Kenny Pickett won 13 for 15, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he rushed for 3 first downs.
See, that's what I've been trying to explain to Pitt fans. Like Kenny Pickett is, I mean, and I know as a Pitt fan, you know how good he was, but I don't think y'all understand how much that's going to hurt you. Like that is.
I'm
like,
not. Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Kenny Pickett is a top 5 quarterback in Pitt history, and he is the best quarterback that Pitt has had since Dan
He's the
Marino.
best quarterback that ever stepped foot in the ACC. I don't care what anybody says.
That could be an argument. Although I would say Deshaun Watson was up there too.
He has surpassed Deshaun Watson's all-time ACC record for most touchdowns in a season, along with Russell Wilson's, who was the record holder at 38. Kenny Pickett had 42.
Right.
And the thing is, I never denied how it would impact us, that fact that we lost Addison, Whipple, and Kenny Pickett. And I never said Mark Whipple was a bad offensive coordinator. What I did say is he refused to run the ball when he should have ran the ball.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, do I think Slovis is anywhere near the talent of Kenny Pickett? Not even in your lifetime. However, Slovis has enough talent to get us to win 10 games. I don't think we're going to win the ACC. I do think we're going to win 10 games, even if it comes at the hands of a bowl game. I don't care. I would be happy if that happened, because that has never happened.
Gotcha.
My boss is looking at me like I'm having a seizure.
Well, I mean, look at him back. Give him the stink eye. Give him the stink eye. See, I'm talking to Golden Blue to get off me.
Well, this is not the boss that said I couldn't work. This guy over here, who are you a fan of? Ew. Penn State.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to run into some Penn State fans up there.
Oh, yeah. You'll run into Penn State fans more than you'll run into West Virginia fans, and you'll see more Penn State gear more than West Virginia gear. You will catch West Virginia gear up here only because I don't ever think we've had a recruit on the football team from the state of West Virginia. You guys have been able to get a few of ours.
Right.
I don't think it's ever happened. Now, on the women's basketball side, that's a little bit different story.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody watches when, well, I do. I can't say nobody does.
Pitt, do me a favor, or Talkus Pitt, do me a favor. Don't overwork yourself and wear out your vocal cords. We want the best rendition possible, okay? We want it to be the best you can do. So don't wear yourself out and you know, to where you're struggling through it, all right, buddy?
No, I see. The thing is, nobody up here in Pittsburgh actually hates Country Roads, the song.
Okay.
They just hate the fact that it's they hate the fact that it's associated with West Virginia.
Right.
But I actually got to get going, guys.
Okay.
But thanks for having me on. I do apologize I couldn't make it. This is way out of my control, and at least I'll get to go to a game this year. It's not the game I wanted. It's the Tennessee game. I will be at that game, but I'll be up all the way up high, like all the way up high, because those tickets are just as expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be in the upper deck of the end zone.
Oh, really? Same here.
Yep.
I think might actually be
the right side of it. Kind of near the right corner of
I'll be directly across from where you're sitting. So where I was sitting, I'll be able to look and see that's probably where you sat.
Okay.
But I'll holler at you later, Joey Foster. I found out recently you had some health problems. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you. I feel so horrible. Glad you're okay. I'll see everybody later.
All right. See you, buddy.
See you later.
See you. Anybody that I've invited onto the live stream, you guys can join anytime you want. Sent you the link. You can stay for 5 minutes or 20 minutes or however long. We didn't schedule anybody. So there might be, more than one guest pop in at the same time. That's fine. Don't worry about that. So if you're watching and I sent you the link and you want to pop in, by all means pop in. We have no schedule going on.
I seen Millis come in the chat, and I didn't know if you had sent him the link. So I sent Millis the link and told him to come.
Yeah,
and
that's
visit us
fine.
for-
Millis, it's not. I didn't mean to not invite you. It's you know, it was a bunch of people, and sometimes you just forget somebody. So I apologize, but yeah, by all means, come on, buddy. This isn't, you know, this is like hanging out, inviting all your fellow YouTuber friends, you know, everybody in the chat, seeing not just me, but some of their other favorite YouTubers as well, on the same stream. So that's what this is about. It's nothing formal or anything like that. We're just hanging out. I'm just in a really good mood. I'm super excited. I've actually been going over to my, well, I consider them friends, fellow YouTubers, and, you know, talking on their live stream about about this channel getting to 10,000. And so hopefully I'm not coming off as arrogant, because I'm not trying to do that. I just get really excited whenever I meet a goal, and this was a big goal. So I'm super excited about this, and that's why I decided to do this live show, because I'm really, really excited about what we did and what we're going to do. I think we can get to 25,000 by the national championship. It's going to take a lot of hard work, maybe a little bit of luck, but I think we can do it, Joey. What do you think?
I think I'm going to stick with my goal of 15,000 men a year and see what happens from there. See how we're doing. Then maybe say 25,000. But I'll stick with you and say, let's do it. I know we can do it. Just a lot of work. I know we can do it, though.
No, it is a lot of work. We already know that. Quick reminder to people in the chat, if you haven't, please hit the thumbs up, the like button. That doesn't even necessarily mean that you like the video. All it does is it helps the video hit the YouTube algorithm. And whenever the YouTube algorithm, whenever the video does hit the YouTube algorithm, it gets suggested more people see it, more people click on it, and that's how you grow your audience. So if you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. If you have a question or a comment or anything like that, or even a troll, best way to get our attention is the super chat button. That is that little $ that you see on the bottom right hand corner under the comments section. Anything you put in that super chat, we throw it on the screen just like you see with Ishmael Love, and we read the comment. If it's a question, we answer it to the best of our ability. If it's a comment, we address it. So anything you got to say to Go on to Blue, that's the best way to get our attention. Super chat right there. And like we said earlier, the prizes for the super chat. If you super chat, you are going to automatically be entered into winning that trail cam, which is worth what, $125, $150, something like that.
Yeah, 129, I believe. I think it was 129 on the trail cam, 180 on the
pretty good prize.
Right. Millis, for some reason, Nightbot is not putting your link in when somebody types your name, and I apologize for that, Millis. I'll make sure that happens. Would a moderator put a link to Millis's channel in the chat?
And did you send him the link to join?
Yes. So, Millis, I texted you the link to join us, man.
Yeah. Same with Jeff Grimm. I sent you. Let me double check and make sure it's right, because sometimes I put in the wrong keystrokes. Jeff, if you're still watching, aka Tide Guy, if you're still watching, I sent you the link through Messenger. So if you want to pop on, by all means, pop on. Yeah. I thought I saw Jeff say
Millis
something.
said you didn't get a text. Let me make sure it's went to you, Millis.
We're having some communication issues as far as getting the right number and all that stuff, which happened a lot. Hoghead says, I really didn't know about your channel until Slob Softball. See, that's another great thing about the YouTube community that I didn't realize until I started watching everybody. Now is a great time to start a sports YouTube channel, because there's a great community out there that's going to support you. And they've organized Slob Softballs. That's what we call ourselves. YouTubers that talk about college football, we call ourselves slobs. So we've organized softball games. We have the Slob Olympics. What's the other thing? There was one more thing, wasn't there?
Well, they were talking about doing a slob bowling and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, just a bunch of get-togethers where you can meet other fellow YouTubers and get their support. So Yeah, it's a great community. So now's a great time to become a sports YouTuber if you're thinking about it. And everybody in the comment section saying congratulations to 10,000. We greatly appreciate it. But the thing is, we can't get to these goals without people like you. You're the ones that's watching the videos. You're the ones that's hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. So really, it's thank you, because without you, there is no Golden Blue Dude. Hold on. Thank you, Hillbilly Skeptic, for the $10 donation. Says, I claim that most Power 5 conferences are upheld by media bias. I can agree with that. Big Ten mostly. When forcing all Power 5 champs to schedule a game with a group of 5 champs, expose a lot of weak big name programs.
No.
Well,
there's such a huge step.
Well, hold on. If you're talking about the Big Ten and the SEC, probably not. But whenever you get into like the Pac-12 champs, the ACC champs, maybe the Big 12 champs, could happen. Could happen.
But I'm thinking, so there's a big step between a group of 5 and a Power 5 program. There's a really big step there. Now, a group of 5 team can beat a Power 5 team on a one-off. So, for instance, we've seen Cincinnati take care of Notre Dame last year, a one-off game. But when they get into a Power 5 schedule, that's where you'll see the big difference, because a group of 5 team won't have the depth. They won't have the facilities to keep up with a Power 5 team. So, that's where you'll see a difference, is when they start playing a Power 5 schedule. If they play a group of 5, if a group of 5 plays a Power 5 team on a one-off game, upsets can always happen.
Right.
So I will say that.
Yeah, that's the thing. By the way, quick update. So we hit 10,000. What was it, yesterday? No, it was Saturday night. No, Friday night. Excuse me. Today's Sunday. And we're already at 10,054. So we are definitely still moving forward. You don't reach your goal and then just stop. We reached our goal. We're good. We accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. Let's throw it in. No, you keep going. You keep grinding. That's why me and Joey are already talking about our next goal. And Joey has some doubts that we're going to possibly not hit that 25,000.
I don't have no doubts. I have no doubts.
I'm not going to lie. That's a big goal. I agree with you. That is a big, big goal. But I think if we put the work in, that we can hit it for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Listen, hitting 10,000 in the time span that we did, I honestly was not expecting. I mean, this was a big morale boost to Golden Blue Dude. Everybody involved, right? Because we hit 5,000 not too long ago, like just a couple of months ago. So hitting 10,000 when we did, big morale boost. But if we were to hit 25,000 by the national championship, dude, we would be unstoppable then. I don't know, 100,000 within the next year, something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, man.
Let me answer a couple of
questions.
This
goal right here is a crazy one.
Well, let's answer a question here. Wilkie, yes, I do live in West Virginia. I live up next to Morgantown, right outside of Fairmont. And also, Millis, he says canned water is superior to all other water. I disagree. Boxed water is more superior than canned water. Okay. Jeff.
What about bagged water?
How about powdered water?
There you go. Powdered. That's it.
I like dehydrated water.
Yeah, you just
the new sponsor of Golden Blue Dude, powdered water.
There you go. Mr. Jeff Grimm, what's going on, buddy? Or wait, hey. I say that wrong. Jeff, Mr. Taco Grimm, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, congratulations on 10,000.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a lot of hard work by me and Joey, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I consider myself now we are now a real YouTube channel. We hit 10,000 subscribers. Golden Blue Dude is now a real YouTube channel. How about that?
If I remember right, I joined you guys last, I want to say July.
Yeah, I think it was right when the Oklahoma-Texas thing went down.
I think you were just under 2,000 subscribers at the time.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've done 8,000 subscribers in 13 months.
Yep. And it took us, 18 months to get to 1,000.
Yeah. Now, that's
So,
really impressive.
Yeah, basically the only advice or the only reason that I can give for this is you never know when that boom's going to happen, but if you're grinding, you'll take advantage of it. Because if you're not grinding and the boom happens, then all of a sudden, oh wait, I wasn't expecting this, so let me get some stuff together. As long as you're grinding, then whenever the boom happens, you're good. You're prepared for it.
Right. I think the first thing that helped you last year was, and the reason I found you and so many people found you, was you had already had a show going, and then expansion hit. When Texas and Oklahoma, everybody's looking for content. And at the time, you had really good content on the expansion. I think that's what really helped you.
It did. And that's why, I laugh whenever people say, I'm clickbait dude. Anything that I've said has never come true. If you actually go back and watch my videos, I've actually been right quite a lot. Have I been wrong? Yep, I've been wrong. But that's what trying to predict things or giving different scenarios, that's what happens. You're letting the people decide which one they think is more likely to happen. And then it's a wait and see and say, oh, no, we thought it was going to be that one, but it was actually that one.
Right. And the other thing that people don't understand is, and I don't have the numbers, but how many YouTubers are there that's talking college sports? So if all you do is keep repeating the same thing that everybody else repeats,
right,
you're not going to get clicks. You've got to think outside of the box. You got to make it entertaining. And, if you just keep repeating the same facts that everybody else is repeating, you wouldn't have 10,000 subscribers today.
100% agree. The college football has one of the highest volume as far as YouTubers that's producing content, and all the content is similar. So you have to somehow be different. And if that means sounding crazy and going out on a huge limb, you got to do it. I'm known as, the guy that clickbaits and makes these crazy predictions, but at least I'm known for something. See what I'm saying?
Right. And like I said, if I wanted my news, I'll watch ESPN.
Right.
They report the news. I watch you because you make me think about, well, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? All the dominoes. And I know a lot of people get upset with you that, well, what he said is a lie. Well, maybe at the time it was true.
Right.
Everything's changing every day. So, I mean, even though you've been wrong at times when you said it, you might not have been wrong at that time.
Right. I try to explain that to people, but they don't quite get it, because what's true today might not be true tomorrow because of an action of a party you weren't anticipating.
Exactly. I mean, everybody thought Notre Dame would end up going to the ACC. Nobody saw USC, UCLA leaving to the Big Ten.
Although, if you go back and look at some of my videos, I did leave some scenarios where UCLA and USC was going to go to the Big Ten.
Right.
That was one of them. And that's part of it. I can't say, oh, I was right about this. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about laying out scenarios and then just seeing which one's right and which one's wrong.
Right, because I think it was Thursday or Friday, the guys at 365 did a segment on Minnesota going to the Big 12.
Yeah.
And we had talked about that, about a week and a half ago?
Yep.
So I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
it's a crazy story, but it's out there. So, when somebody reports it, well, others start reporting it and saying, and even though it is ridiculous, well, it's out there. So you put it out there.
And people can't separate talking about it and saying that it's actually going to happen. Just because you're talking about something doesn't mean you're saying it's going to happen. In fact, in the videos that I made about Minnesota going to the Big 12, I'm like, guys, I don't see this happening, but it's being talked about it, so I'm going to make a video.
One of the guys I used to love watching, and this is going way back, Jimmy the Greek. he did tons of predictions, and he was wrong many, many times, but he was fun to watch.
Right.
Because he was entertaining, you know.
And that's what you have to be. You have to be entertaining. You have to stick out. Even if people are, man, this guy's crazy, clickbait dude, blah blah. Well, at least you're remembering me out of the, many sports YouTubers out there, and that's what you have to do. You have to make people remember you, and even little things that people don't realize, like the checklist. That's a memorable thing, even though it might seem goofy and dumb and kind of out there. It's a memorable thing that people attach to me, Golden Blue Dude. And even the intro music, y'all know it. I'm not going to hum it or say it, but y'all know my intro music. Whenever the LuTube talent show came around, and Traction Jackson does impersonations, right? Well, he actually did an impersonation of me, but before he got to me, he did an impersonation of my intro music. And yes, he made it sound silly and made me roll my eyes and all that stuff. But that tells me it's memorable. It gets stuck in your head. You associate this with this. It's all about association. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about getting people to associate you with something. Is it the checklist? Is it the conference realignment craziness? Is it the theme music? Who knows? As long as it's something.
Well, like you said, you like the SEC on CBS because of their music.
Right.
It's that intro that draws you there.
And the NBA on NBC. I'm not a big basketball guy. And in fact, whenever the NBA on NBC went away, I haven't watched the NBA since then, because that was the hook. That's what got me watching. And so if college football on CBS came to an end, I would be very, very sad because of that, the hook that they have.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed that the SEC is not going to be on CBS anymore. I wasn't really a fan of Gary Danielson's broadcasting, but we've been on CBS for so long, I'm going to miss that game.
Right. Me too. Now, nice consolation would be, or consolation prize would be, if CBS can pick up some Big Ten games. It would be better than nothing. I would still want the SEC on CBS, but it's better than nothing, because before it was the SEC on CBS, it was just straight college football on CBS, and it would have Big East games. I remember when West Virginia hosted Ohio State. I think it was like 95, 96. That was on CBS. Maybe a year later, or maybe later in the year, I don't know. They went to the Carrier Dome against Syracuse in the Big East. That was on CBS. So it became a part of my childhood.
But now, what is CBS going to do since they lost the SEC?
That's probably why they'll get some games either with the Big 12 or the Big 10, or maybe a combination, maybe a little bit of both.
But who are they going to get for their championship game?
That I don't know.
Conference championship, because now they'll lose. Obviously now the SEC is going to go to ABC more than likely.
That sucks, because that's one thing that I really like on CBS as far as college football is the conference championship games. They have the hook, they have the hype. I like ESPN because of College Game Day, but if you look at how they actually present the game itself, it doesn't have the same oomph as what CBS does. And NBC definitely. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people consider Notre Dame football boring. It's not necessarily Notre Dame's fault. It's kind of NBC's fault because of the way they present it.
Well, and NBC, I don't know how to say this properly, but their show is not as good as CBS. It's like they didn't put the money in that CBS does.
The production value.
ESPN, I like ESPN. I'm starting to dislike a little bit of the College Game Day, but it's always nice watching College Game Day. And then I like ESPN because they gave me games I wouldn't get to see otherwise. I like the late night games, and the Big 12 has their tier 3 games on, ESPN. So if Alabama's not playing, I can pick up a pretty decent game there. But yeah, I'm not an overall fan of ESPN.
Yeah. Well, I just like Game Day a lot. Like their presentation of the actual games could be better, but Game Day has now become a tradition. It's great. So I'm kind of mad that they backed out of the Big Ten. So now we're going to get a heavy dose of Game Day in the SEC, maybe the Big 12. They might pick up some games in the Big 12, but the Big Ten we're not going to see a lot of. And their number one stop was Ohio State. Does that go away?
Right. And my question is, how does the Big Ten and ESPN splitting, how is that going to affect the Big Ten?
Right.
Because a lot of people don't realize that ESPN broke away from the NHL. And I want to say it was in 2005. And the NHL just kind of fell apart. ESPN barely talked about the NHL. And then last year, ESPN got the rights to the NHL again. And then last year, you saw it more on TV and you heard more about it.
Oh, yeah. This past year, the NHL was actually big.
Yeah. So, I mean, does ESPN do that to the Big Ten?
Well, I don't think so, because I think the NHL and college football, the Big Ten, two separate things. Because if ESPN doesn't promote the NHL, then you're not going to grab any audience. You're going to have the diehard NHL fans that are going to find it no matter what, but the casual fan that don't really care about it are going to forget about it. College football has a much bigger fan base. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to hurt at all. It probably will, of course. I mean, it's common sense, but I don't think it's going to be anything close to what we saw with the NHL. And I think eventually it could, come back up and even out.
Right. But I was just kind of curious, like without Game Day going to Ohio State, does that kind of, take a little bit away, them not, mentioning all the Big Ten games as much?
Right.
Will that have a little bit of an effect on them?
Yeah. I mean, I think it will, most definitely. I'm actually going to do a video later today on how I think that college football is going to end up going back to regional once the Big Ten and the SEC do eventually get to that magic number and split off. Now, what do I mean by regionally? Well, okay, let's say that the Big Ten and the SEC, they both get, 24, 30 teams apiece, whatever it is, a total of either 48 or 60 teams, right? They split off from the NCAA, create their own national championship playoffs, do their own thing, right? Well, once they do that, then what they can do from there is kind of go back to the old days where you kind of section people off in pods, like this group plays together, this group plays together, this group plays together, and then you'll have cross pod games like that. So you'll see more of a regional thing because they've kind of cut out the whole 5 different Power Fives. Now it's just 2 big conferences with a lot of teams. So they would have enough teams within the 2 conferences to where it could be a little bit more regional than what it's looked like in the past decade or so.
Well, and if you did something like that, maybe you go to 2 32-team conferences. That would be 64 teams.
Right.
Make each pod 8 teams.
Right.
4 for the Big Ten, 4 for the SEC, and just have the winner of all 4 of them make a playoff.
Right, exactly.
That's the
And then
easiest way to get an 18 playoff. Yep.
And I think if you do that, I think you should go back to 10 regular season games, 8 conference games, and 2 cross, whatever you want to call it. And then you can expand the playoffs to that 16 with an extra couple games, and including your conference championship, which would almost resemble what the NFL does. You have the AFC and the NFC championship, and then the 2 champions meet in the national championship. That makes sense.
And then what you could do is kind of like the NFL does, the 4 pods in each conference, you can label like North, South, East, and West.
Right.
And then this year, each of the East teams will play each other. That'll be the outside of the conference games. And then, just kind of rotate it like the NFL. that's how they do it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Ferris asked, "Where's Mark Rogers?" I'm not sure. I gave everybody the link to the live stream, and a lot, there was many people said that they were going to stop by. I don't know if everybody's waiting until the last second and we're going to have like 50 guests on at the same time. I don't know, but Joey, maybe you could help me out on that situation.
Yeah, I'm texting. I'm texting Mark Rogers right now.
We're not going. We're not sharing the link in the comments tonight. I actually have like fellow YouTubers that I shared the link to pre-live show that said that they were going to come on. I'm not going to say all their names because I'm not trying to make anybody look bad or anything like that. But we'll see how many pop in. Hopefully at least a few. Tim Prangley says, "Congratulations, Golden Blue Dude and Joey Foster." Exactly. This was a team effort, and it's onward and upward. We have a massive goal of 25,000 subscribers by the national championship, and Joey is still trying to process that, aren't you, Joey?
I am. I'm trying. I can go with 15,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then I haven't thought about by the national championship, so we'll shoot for 25 by then. That means we'd have to get 10,000 in 2 months, and we went from 5,000 to 10,000 in 2 months.
Yes, we did.
So
yes,
it's possible.
You just never know.
Well, and also now that you're over 10,000, you're going to get more and more. They're going to put you out there more and more.
Right.
So it's going to even be a little easier,
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is getting to a subscriber count doesn't necessarily help like getting views, because there's some channels that have a lot of subscribers but don't get a lot of views. But in some roundabout way, it can help, guarantee a certain amount of views, but you're not going to get like, okay, because I'm at 10,000, every single video is going to get at least 10,000 views. That's not what it means. But YouTube recognizes you more whenever you have more subscribers, so you get suggested more, and that can help with your views. But you still gotta keep within the algorithm. So I'm a college football YouTuber, right? If I started making videos about like bicycling or traveling, whatever, then I would mess up the algorithm, and it would probably take a while to recover from that. Here we go. Miami Float. Hold on, buddy. Let me get rid of this super chat real quick because it's covering your face. There we go. I found it. There we go. What's going on, Flo?
What's up, man? Well, how you doing? Congratulations on the big 10K.
Yeah, man. We're excited, man.
That's a big deal, bro. That's a really big deal.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is? We actually set 10,000 for the end of the year. All right.
Oh, wow.
And then this conference realignment stuff started, happening and started hitting our boom. And so we're like, wait a minute, hold on. Let's reset this goal. So we set the goal for the 10,000 for the backyard brawl, which was September 1st. Still beat that goal by a couple weeks. So I'm like super blown away. And that's what I try to, and you have YouTube channels, so you can understand what I'm about to say. I try to tell people, congratulate yourself. Right. Because I do what I do. I talk in the video, I make videos and stuff like that. But without people subscribing, then it doesn't mean anything as far as, growing.
Yeah. I mean, number one, I always joke around every time I see you, but I mean it when I was like, you're one of the hardest working people I know in YouTube, man. Like, you're putting out videos every day, and you hit all topics, so you deserve it. You deserve all that 100%. And yeah, everyone has their niche, like some people need the subs, some people like to work more on their lives, some people just want to do like edit video. Everyone, there's a spot for everybody,
Yeah.
And with the YouTube algorithm, it's like flipping a coin. They change it like every 6 months. So
hold on a second, Joey, are you okay if I put you in the background real quick? Because what I predicted,
I am. I was getting ready to say, drop me down and bring some people up.
Hey, Blue Dude, I'll get out of here so you can bring another person on.
I appreciate you, Jeff.
Congratulations.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Right.
All right, so we'll put Joey and well, he dropped, so we'll just add him. All right, so about 5 minutes ago, I said it looks like a lot of my guests are going to pop on at the same time, so that's what's happening, which is fine. I didn't schedule. I just wanted it to be, whenever, because I know everybody has a busy schedule. So we have the DGD podcast, we have Miami Flow, and we have Pigskin Pete on at the same time. I love it. What's going on, DGD, and what's going on, Pigskin Pete?
Not much, guys. Not much.
What's going on, Gold and Blue Dude Flow and DGD? How's it going, fellas?
Just good. Another milestone, man. Another milestone we're celebrating. I appreciate you guys taking the time. I know you guys are busy as well, and your time is valuable to you. So I appreciate you guys for taking a little bit of time and jumping on the live show. So college football season almost here. Now, Miami and Clemson, they're kind of in two different spots, right? Miami, high expectations. It's been a while since, they've been nationally relevant, competing for a national championship, stuff like that. But for Clemson, you guys have been really elite recently, but last year you had a down season. So coming from two different spots, do you think, so for Miami and Clemson, I'll start with Miami first. Do you think Miami will meet the expectations that are being thrown on them? You guys didn't ask for this, but they are being thrown on you.
I mean, the simple answer is the fans that just watch the football games and don't really understand history and all that. No, anything that happens, they're going to lose their mind. They're going to be like, why are you guys not there? You guys spent all this money getting this staff and, putting in for the facilities and go, all the stuff that Miami has never, ever, ever done in their history. They did. So they want now. We got to go to the national championship this year. We got to go and no, the truth is it's a rebuild, man. Like it's if you know football and you're honest, it's a rebuild. We're like 3, 4, 5 years out, in my opinion, from being where you can go, all right, let's look at what's happened the last 3 or 4 years and make a real, okay, we're doing something. But, will we have a little bit of immediate success? Sure, because we're spending the money. When you spend the money and you bring in quality people, it usually follows. And I want to just say something about Clemson real quick. A down year and they still won.
Yeah.
If you know football, it really wasn't a down year. It's a down year if you're just destroying everybody every year. But the truth of the matter is, if you watch them play and you know what really happened, I don't know if you could call it a down year. They're solid over there. They ain't got no worries.
I agree with that 100%. Before we go to Pigskin Pete and Clemson, I want to say something real quick. Your background, Miami Flow, is fire. All right. Let me say this. I think you give the example of how Miami needs to recruit. Miami needs to have that swag. They need to promote Miami. I think one of the biggest problems that Miami has run into is they've gotten away from the way they used to recruit. They used to recruit the swag, a certain style, and they kind of got away with it, and they kind of blended in with everybody else. I think Miami's brand is strong enough. The swag that they used to have, if you recruit with that element, is strong enough in and of itself to grab those recruits, because Miami's in a hotbed as far as recruiting anyways. If Miami does Miami, they'll be successful. And it just seems like Miami has gotten away from being Miami.
Yeah. Again, not to make fun of, I love our fan base, but we have two parts of a fan base: the delusional side, right? And the one that kind of really watches it. And most of the fans are, we still think we're in 2001 and the 90s, and it's different, man. Everything has changed. You need to have quality people in the building, which we did not. You have to have a strong administration, which we did not. So they are doing all the boring stuff now. Which is correct. Right. Which before was like, a turnover chain. Okay, great. You're down by 3 touchdowns, and we're bringing out the turnover chain. Like, the people that really follow the program are excited because you bring up recruiting. Not to pump him up, but like, look who we go hire. A guy that just doesn't want to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wants to recruit, but we'll see. Give me 3 to 4 years, and I'll give you my honest. I'm excited, of course. How can you not? But we'll see.
Now, okay, let's talk about Clemson for a minute, right? So with Dabo Swinney, he's built a winning culture, and I've lived near Clemson probably 25 years of my life. So I have seen, the Tommy Bowden years and the Tommy West years. I've seen it all. Okay, it's some truly horrifying stuff in Clemson, South Carolina. So Dabo Swinney has built a winning culture, expectations through the roof. Last year considered a down year, right? Do you think Clemson, and I know y'all lost your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. That's not exactly the best news ever, but the moves that Clemson, pulled in the offseason, maybe fixing the issues of DJ, or maybe Will Shipley beats DJ. Do you see Clemson, looking towards the playoffs again this year?
Yeah, I think they should be looking towards the playoffs. That's the expectation that's been set. So, like Flo was just talking about, when it comes to Miami, is that you look at a team like Clemson that only won 10 games last year, and they consider that a disappointment. That's because of the expectation that's been set.
Right.
So you have to play up to your team's expectation. In other words, let's take Miami, for example. I agree with Flo that I think that Miami's headed in the right direction. I think they got the right people in there. I think they got the right coach in there. But, the delusional part of the fan base wants to believe that that's going to translate into a national championship tomorrow. And I just don't think that's the case at all. I think what Mario's doing down there is very similar to what Dabo Swinney did when he took over at Clemson. He's got a long-term vision for this thing. It's not going to be a flash in the pan. It's hard to win a lot in college football. It's hard to win a lot consistently in college football. And that's really the key. And there's only 3 or 4 teams right now that are doing that. And really, on any given year, there's only 3 or 4 teams that can do that from year to year. But as far as Clemson goes, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine there. I think people think that Dabo Swinney's never dealt with coordinator changes before or something. I mean, he's made multiple coordinator changes since he's been the head coach. Yeah. One of them after that drubbing they took to West Virginia in the Orange Bowl, right?
I remember.
70-35 or whatever it was.
33.
30. Okay. Yeah. All right.
That ass whipping. Yeah.
But that led to the coach. I mean, that's what led to Brent Venables in the first place, right? They fired the defensive coordinator. Of course, Billy Napier was once the offensive coordinator at Clemson. Dabo fired him after an abysmal offensive performance and season and went and got Chad Morris, and the rest is history. So my point is, the one constant in Clemson's success over the past 10 or 12 years is not Brent Venables or Tony Elliott. Guess who it is? It's Dabo Swinney. So I trust the people that he's going to hire to put in position to keep the team winning. And I think the way the schedule sets up this year, they can afford 1 loss in the regular season. Let's say on the road to Notre Dame, or maybe even a conference game. But a 12-1 ACC championship Clemson team will most likely get into the playoffs. So they just need to, keep it all in front of them and not lose more than 1 game. I think that's the key.
And that's fair, and it makes sense. You kind of, Pete, you were reading my mind because I was about to ask you. So you mentioned the road trip to Notre Dame. I was going to ask you if there was one game, what one game worried you the most. So I'm going to say 2, because the reason I want to go with 2 is I agree with you. A 12-1, ACC champ Clemson, probably a 90-95% chance of getting to the playoffs. So besides the road game to Notre Dame, is there another game on the schedule that could have you worried?
Well, the one everyone's talking about is NC State, right? Because they lost to NC State in double overtime last season, and NC State's bringing virtually everybody back. So they're high on a lot of people's list. Historically, though, NC State, terrible in Death Valley, and they play in Death Valley this year. I want to say the last time they won there was close to 20 years ago, in Clemson.
Yeah, I think that was back in the Tommy West era. Clemson was god awful.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is look at last year. Clemson was down. NC State was having a really good season. It was in Raleigh, and it still took 120% of NC State to barely beat Clemson. So I 100% agree with you. I think Clemson is going to smack the crap out of them. I say by at least 3 touchdowns because I think Death Valley itself is going to be too much of a factor for NC State. Shout out to Hurricane T2Y, officially known as Pinecone. Appreciate the $9.99 super chat donation. Says, sorry I couldn't make it, but congrats on the 10K, my guy. Keep the great content coming. I appreciate you. Me and T2Y need to get our Sunday show going back. We had a great Sunday show going, but you know how it goes. Sometimes scheduling conflicts. All right, so we also have Indy Sean 45. So we're going to get a Notre Dame perspective, right? Notre Dame perspective. Number one, Notre Dame is the next domino that everybody's waiting on as far as conference realignment to fall. What, as a Notre Dame fan, what do you think they're going to do? Or maybe if there's a difference, what do you think or what do you hope they do?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on. And I'm also representing Ben here, too. Unfortunately, he couldn't join me. But just to let you guys know, I can't stay very long because we're getting ready to shoot our next episode here in about 10 minutes or so.
Cool.
But first off, Pete, I can't wait for that showdown in November. That should be a fun one. And Ben and I are actually going to possibly try to make the trip up there for that, but it's not a guarantee. We are going to the Notre Dame Boston College game for sure. I can tell you that much. But yeah, Ben and I have talked about this multiple times on our show. Obviously, with all you guys, it's a hot topic, conference realignment, but in particular, what are the Fighting Irish going to do as far as conference realignment? Are we going to join one? Are we going to stay independent? I don't know. But and I almost forgot, Golden Blue Dude, congratulations on 10,000 subs, man. You really earned it. Your videos are awesome. I love the different scenarios that you play out on all this stuff, especially what's been going down lately.
Yeah.
But
appreciate it.
First off, Ben and I both, as Notre Dame fans, this is how we see it. If we're able to stay independent, that's great. But if we join a conference, we're not going to be mad at that either, because the way I see it, win on the field at the end of the day. That's all that counts. And if it's in a conference, if it's as an independent, I could care less. And I'm not one of these, I can't speak for Ben on this, but I'm not one of these Irish fans who are so hell-bent on staying independent. I don't care either way. But I know that our ACC contract, I know I was digressing there, but I know that our connection with the ACC and that contract that we have says that we have to join the ACC if we join a conference by 2036.
Right.
And I know that there's strong talk. There has been from day one since UCLA and USC joined the Big Ten. And most people thought that was the plausible case. I thought we were heading that direction.
Me too.
But at this point, in my opinion, I don't know if I can definitely say for sure where we're going to end up. In my opinion, it just depends what conferences are still alive at the end of the day when all this stuff ends. It's, I'd like to say ACC. Hell, I want to say Big Ten, but I don't know. I think it's just, this is where I think we're no different than any other college team out there. We're basically just chasing the money.
Yep.
I mean, you got the renegotiations with NBC going on with, for us trying to get $75 million a year. But it just depends. I think also a big factor too is the Big Ten getting that deal done with. Is it now? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it just NBC or is it NBC, Fox, and CBS all together?
They're whoring themselves out to all three. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
ESPN is the only one that's backed out so far.
Okay, so I honestly think in the end, if we do have to join one, if we do end up going that route, it'll probably be the Big Ten or the ACC, assuming the ACC is still in the picture after all this is said and done, because we've heard the rumors. The ACC is looking to be poached, just like the Pac-12 is right now. And of course, just when you thought the Big 12 was dead, boom, they come out of nowhere and pretty much save their ass.
Can y'all please take Vanderbilt from us, please? Thank you.
Hey, the SEC needs a whipping boy for easy wins, like just given wins, and Vanderbilt is that. So they do serve a purpose in the SEC. So
I mean, they
I don't
do
think
have
the SEC
an excellent spelling bee team. You know.
Yeah, that's right. I heard they had a top-notch chess club over there too.
I'm sure they do Quidditch as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Let me get to orange and black. Oh, orange and black dude. Who does that sound? Who does that? Orange and black dude.
I think that sounds like an OG name right there.
Yeah. Oklahoma State fan. Thank you for the $5 donation. Says, congrats on making 10,000. Hope you one day hit 100,000. Me too. That would be awesome. You inspired me to start my own channel. Hey, inspiration is the name of the game. That's what and here's something that not a lot of people know. Some of my subscribers know, but Pigskin Pete, the Clemson guy you see over there to my left, and Uncle Lou were the two YouTube channels that I saw first. And my entire life, every conversation always ended up college football, and it drove my friends and my family crazy. And one day my brother's like, I got to show you this. And he showed me Pigskin Pete's channel, and he showed me Uncle Lou's channel. He's like, these guys, they're just being themselves, but they're obsessed like you. You need to do this. So, you know, my brother finally gave me the push, but it was the channels of Pigskin Pete and Uncle Lou. Those were the first two that I saw. So, yeah, you guys were an inspiration.
Yeah, well, I'd like to apologize to you for me being the first person you saw on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm glad you apologized, Pete.
Well, hey, look, guys, I got to get moving because we're about to start recording, and I got everything all set up for us. But look, Golden Blue Dude, thank you so much for letting me come on. And again, dude, congratulations on 10,000 subs. You've earned it. You've done a great job. I like your videos. I know Ben likes your videos, and keep doing your thing, man. You'll continue to grow, and you'll get bigger and bigger.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Yep. So peace out, everyone. Go Irish, and God bless.
Always nice to get the perspective of a Notre Dame fan. You never know what they're thinking. You never know because, you know, I don't know very many Notre Dame fans, even though they're the crazy thing is they're a national fan base, right? Big alumni, big fan base, but I don't know a lot of Notre Dame fans as far as
it's ironic. It's really ironic.
Even on YouTube, I don't see a lot of Notre Dame YouTube channels. I know they're out there, but it's like they're just like, you know, yeah, Notre Dame. You know, they're kind of quiet. You know what I'm saying?
They're a worldwide brand, but you don't really hear much about it worldwide at all. Like,
right?
It's weird.
But if they win the national championship,
I mean, as with anybody, right?
Yeah. Speaking of which, Georgia, defending reigning national champs, right? And I have a lot of Georgia subscribers, a lot of them, maybe the number one fan base as far as numbers go for my subscriber base. And they are solid and firm on 15-0 national champs repeat.
15-0, you said, right?
15-0, playoffs, national championship, running the table.
Good luck. And listen, I'm a Georgia guy. I'm telling you, good luck, because I don't care who you are. Listen, Alabama's been a dynasty since Nick Saban got there. Repeating is ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it there. Is it not doable? It's doable, but it's extremely difficult. So I know where you're coming from, GB, but for me personally, listen, repeating is extremely difficult. Listen, you're probably going to take an L in the SEC championship game. It's going to happen, right? It's a matter of getting back to the playoffs and see what you can do from there. At least that's where I'm at, from the season perspective.
The national championship hangover thing is real. Mm-hmm. And you might not just lose the SEC championship. You might drop one in the regular season to a team that's not as good as you.
You know what, though? Everybody, listen, the national media is all about, like, Tennessee beating us, or, so I've heard people say South Carolina. I'm sweating over Mississippi State a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Lie. Listen, people don't understand. The last time we played, Mississippi State, Will Rogers was a true freshman and came in and torched our defense, right? But at the same time, like, playing a soft zone is the way to, to stop the big plays and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a close game. Like, we legitimately had to sit there and use JT Daniels, Golden Blue, you know what I'm talking about. And we had to sit there and go and score for score almost. And that was a defense that was, I wouldn't say what it was last year, but it was still top 10, top 15 defense easily. Now you got him as a junior. Now you got Will Rogers as a junior, and Georgia's going to Starkville.
Oh, it's in
So
Starkville.
I'm sweating a little bit.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sweating a little bit. I think we win, but I'm sweating it a little bit. It's just what's going to happen.
Well, here's how I feel about Georgia this year. Okay, you're gonna actually have a slightly better offense than what you did last year. Okay, but I think your defense takes a significant step backwards because last year wasn't just a great defense. Last year wasn't just an elite defense. Last year was a historically elite defense. Okay. And Georgia lost like 3/4 of it. And Georgia recruits at a high level, especially on defense. High. And Georgia probably can have another historic defense probably in a couple years or maybe 3 years, something like that. Just not this year. And Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, maybe even Florida will be better this year. Unlike last year, Georgia is going to be in some actual 50-50 football games. I made this comment earlier whenever it was just me and Joey. If you look at last year's schedule and the final score and how each game went, there was really zero 50-50 football games that Georgia was in. Maybe the Clemson game you could count because it was a close final score. But if you watch the game,
that one was a sloppy game, but just turned out in our favor. And Pete, you know what I'm talking about with this game. It was just, listen,
couldn't get past the 50-yard line, so
fair,
Georgia controlled that.
The thing about that game, and you hear it from, at least I've heard it, Pete. I don't know about you, but everybody was talking about that was a boring game. To me, that was a defensive game. When you look at two defensive lines, that were the best in the country, man. Like, I'm not knocking, Clemson at all, because you look at Brzee and Miles Murphy and all those guys on that defensive line, right? There's and listen, first game aside, it was a defensive chess match. That's what it was. So the fact that, ironically, a pick six won the game, is not surprising at all to me, and probably not even Pete either.
No, I was there. I mean, it was extremely frustrating to watch for me, but it definitely wasn't boring. I mean, I don't need to see a bunch of points scored to be boring. But the thing that really frustrated me was, well, first of all, DJ had no shot. I mean, he was like a deer in headlights out there. I mean, that Georgia defensive line was just all over him like white on rice. And then the one time they finally got in the red zone, down to on the 5-yard line, 3 straight passes incomplete. They didn't even try to run the ball once.
Latavius Brini, that drive, Pete. Latavius Brini, that's the name. And he's at Arkansas now. So watch out, Arkansas fans know what I'm talking about. That dude played out of his mind on that drive in the red zone. He was the one that was breaking up them passes.
My question about Georgia going into this season is, I mean, we know that Stetson Bennett's not a bad quarterback. He's like a game manager type, but he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But let's say Georgia, I mean, we always know that they're going to have a good defense from year to year. But let's say they get in a situation with Tennessee, for example, and they're down by 14 points. Is Georgia's offense really built to come down, by 2 or 3 scores? I don't think that they are.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Speaking of unicorns, we have D4 Sports, Texas fan. You might want to shield your eyes for a second there, D4, because I got to do it. Horns down. But I do think that somebody has an echo. I think you have an echo, D4. Okay, the echo went away. I think Texas can have a bounce back year from last year, but anything is a bounce back year from last year. 8-4. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking the 8-4, 9-3 route. Depending, I think we finished 3rd or 4th in the Big 12.
I would agree with that, and I'm even predicting. I hate saying this, but just how it falls on the schedule, the talent that Texas has, I'm actually predicting West Virginia to lose to Texas on the road in week, what is it, 5? Week 5. But Texas is beating a 4-0 West Virginia ranked team. So that's going to be a good win for Texas right there.
Yeah, I'm excited about the season. Definitely, hopefully it's a building year for us. And keep on with the recruiting and get SEC ready.
Yes, that's going to be that's going to come up on you real fast. So you're going to run out of time if you're not going to be ready. But I think Texas is going to be fine. You already recruited at a high level. Steve Sarkisian, rough first year, but if he can get it in gear, Texas has the brand and the recruiting, should be fine. But not going to get the favors that you usually get when you were in the Big 12. You think Texas is going to, have any type of issues with that?
No, I don't believe so. Are you talking about like with the horns down and stuff like that?
Well, just honestly, I think one of the reasons why Nebraska, Colorado, Missouri, and Texas A&M left was because of how much control Texas had of the Big 12. And going into the SEC, that's not going to be the case. Do you think that's going to be an adjustment as far as mentally? Not for fans. You guys have nothing to do with it. I'm talking about an adjustment for the higher-ups who are used to, kind of puppet controlling behind the scenes in the Big 12. Is it going to have any type of effect whatsoever, I guess?
I think it's always a power struggle behind the scenes that we don't see, especially, it's probably that same way in the SEC now, the ACC, there's probably a power struggle there somewhere.
Yeah, I think Texas is one of the few programs. They're used to a big time media backlash. I don't think it'll be much of an adjustment for them, really.
That's fair. The only adjustment that they might have to get used to is being in a conference that has many more big brands just like Texas. They're coming from the Big 12. Besides Oklahoma, who's coming with them, even my team, West Virginia, it's not that big of a brand. Iowa State, Baylor, no, they're up and coming. Going into the SEC, they're going to have brands like Alabama, Auburn. Well, you all know the SEC. They're going to have – I think it will take some type of mental adjustment, getting used to how many big brands are in the SEC. Almost like a shock factor.
I don't know. I think on the field they'll have to have something to adjust to as far as the behind the scenes stuff. Texas is such a big brand; they fit right in like a puzzle piece with the SEC.
The reason I mentioned that is
sorry, go ahead.
The reason I mentioned that was Texas has a culture problem. They've never had issues recruiting or anything like that. So I'm trying to figure out if it's going to have effect on the culture, because right now they have a culture problem. Could that, increase that exponentially going into a conference where you're competing against a lot of big brands? Those boosters are going to get bigger heads trying to compete against these other big boosters.
Well, I'll tell you where they already pivoted, which was smart. If you watch how they're recruiting, it's not just about 5- and 4-star guys like everybody of the big brands goes after. It's a certain type of player. They changed their model. If you watch the type of player, they're actually going after some, they're trenches now. They're not just looking at the flashy guys that are running and the camps and stuff. I follow recruiting like I have no life, and I can tell you I've noticed a massive pivot in the style of recruiting that Texas is doing, which will pay off in a couple of years, right? When they needed to, I think.
It's almost like Steve Sarkisian is recruiting the same way that Saban did at Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look at our second team line, the freshmen, the Kelvin Banks, the Cam Williams, the Cole Hudson, it's night and day looking at our first team line and then looking at our freshman line. So they are big humans, and they're picked by Kyle Flood, who, of course, was at Alabama with Nick Saban.
It looks like now we have 2 Miami fans. We have Miami Flow and Traveling Fools right underneath me. What's going on, Traveling Fools?
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Hold my soul.
Until you lose 4 games, yeah, maybe that is.
Pete throwing out the big X on us. Yeah, he knows. Pete knows on November 19th, we are coming in and we are going to drag you out from underneath Howard's Rock, and we're going to sweep the floor with you. It is going to happen. It is going to happen, my friend.
I've heard this all off season. Good Lord.
Yeah, and we'll be together there too. Hey, Miami Flow, you should come. There's a bunch of us going to that game.
I'm actually going. A guy from Clemson that I talked to. I'm going to play some golf. I'm going to get there the day before and get to play on the golf course there. I'm excited, and then I'm going to go to the game.
The Walker course.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. So I just mentioned where we just doubled our Miami guests. Well, now we just tripled. We now have three Miami.
Okay. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen even better.
What happened? I have lost control.
It's a takeover. It is a Miami takeover. We are in the house. In the house now, bitches.
I can't.
Hey, Pete.
Piss me off.
Pete, let's talk about winning football teams. So how about Clemson and Georgia? What do you think?
You're not putting Miami in this conversation? Is that what you're saying?
Fuck no.
Hey.
Oh man.
Oh man.
We win for the first time in 40 years, and we don't know how to act. Wow.
I do know how to act.
Good God.
Doesn't change.
I know it's almost like it's coupon day at the dollar store. You know. Georgia fans just
we've been choking on bones for 4 generations, and now we don't know how to act.
I'll just say this: I'm better than dollar stores. I go to Dollar General. Excuse me.
This is a disaster.
This is a Miami takeover. I think.
Where's Coach Coop? Where's Coach Coop?
Where's Uncle Lou at? Damn it.
Well, I think Coach Coop is. He's actually recording a music video. He said he'd think about. He'd try to stop by, but he didn't know if he'd be done in time. But it wouldn't surprise me because I had 3 Miami fans pop in near the same time within 15, 20 minutes towards the end of the show. So I am 100% convinced that Miami planned this takeover of Golden Blue. But you know what? I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Miami needs some of the limelight. It's been a while since people have been talking about Miami, and it seems like this year a lot of people are talking about Miami. The question is, is it going to be lived up to that, or is Miami fans up for a massive disappointment? What do we think?
Depends on the expectation. What's like everyone's got a different expectation. Wholesome one. What's your expectation for the 2022 season?
Man, I tell you this. I hate putting like numbers on things, but for the question, I would.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that, I think we don't know. Okay, we're dealing with young men at 18 to 22, and sometimes 23. We're dealing with a coach where Coach Mario Cristobal was established, but he's done what he did way yonder in a pitiful conference. Let's just call it what it was, okay? And he's coming home, and yes, it's important to him. Yes, it's powerful to him, but we also don't know what Coach Josh Gaddis is either. We saw 3 or 4 different versions of him in his time calling plays at Michigan. So, we don't really know what we got. The one established thing we do have, 2 established things we have is Zion Nelson, when healthy, is one of the better offensive tackles in the country. And we got a top 5 to 6 quarterback. So, I mean, they're going to have to go out there and win these games. Of course, we got a tough one with A&M. We got to get the monkey off our back in North Carolina. We got one of the best teams in the country in Clemson that's pissed off that everybody thinks that they suck and that they magically don't know how to play football and blah, blah, blah. So like I said, 9-3 to me would be a definitely respectable Miami team. Now, how does that look? Are we scraping by against these bad teams? Are we trying to lean into being turnover ridden? Or are we a team that's out there disciplined, focused, and may just not be good enough to beat a well-recruited, established program in an A&M and in a Clemson, and maybe have one dummy loss in there? And, hopefully we are playing on championship Saturday. That's goal number 1 for me when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes, is to win the Coastal outright for the second time in school history, and to get on the same field on championship Saturday with more than likely the Clemson Tigers or NC State Wolfpack and see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, that's the end of the season. We got a lot of stuff between then and there, but that's my goal.
NC State's going to get shellacked by Clemson, and they're going to have to hope that Clemson loses a couple of ACC games. It's not going to happen. I think that we're going to see a rematch between Miami and Clemson in the ACC championship. I don't know who's going to win the first matchup. I'm going to say Clemson because it's in Clemson. But that second matchup could be really, really intriguing, depending on how good Miami looks at the end of the year.
I mean, I'm with you. I think most people understand when it comes to me breaking down Miami, I'm an X's and O's guy. Yes, I get emotional. Yes, I get fired up. And yes, I love the school. But at the end of the day, when you talk about well-established programs, you got to take the fandom out of it. We're talking about football. This ain't the offseason anymore. It's football season. We're talking about ball. Okay, and we're nowhere near in some of these established programs right now. Now, we may get all excited and we're fired up about it, like, oh, we got Coach Cristobal, but he still has to, and they say it every day, work, work, work. And we're talking about a program that's been established for a majority of last decade, going into this decade, in a pissed off Clemson team. Not a Clemson team that's like, oh, woe is me, we're going to keep rolling. They're pissed at the way that people don't respect them and appreciate them.
Guys, this is what happens whenever you go with a relaxed schedule and you don't have time slots and everybody comes in at the same time. It's officially the Golden Blue Bunch. And it looks like DGD podcast. You are Alice.
What's up, Alice? What's up?
Hey.
Who the F is Alice?
I'm fine. I'm fine with it, though. I'm having a lot of fun. So, a lot of people were actually asking about you, Mark Rogers. How's your day going, buddy?
My day. I just actually met up with Exploring with Ben out of nowhere. He was passing through town, said, hey, can we meet? So, bam, yeah, we can meet for a few minutes. So just said hi to him, to anybody who knows who that is. But other than that, I just wanted to drop in, quick drive-by. Got other things going, but quick drive-by to say hi to everybody, but especially to you, GBD. Appreciate you. Thanks for all that you do for me, and congrats on the 10K. It's phenomenal.
I appreciate you, Mark. I've enjoyed working with you, man. You're one of you, Pigskin Pete, even Uncle Lou. I know he's an acquired taste, but I look up to you guys because y'all were some of the first channels that I looked at. So don't run yourself ragged, man. Get some rest if you need some rest.
Why does everybody always pin that on me?
Because you're on all the freaking time, dude. You have a live stream like every 3 hours.
I actually just put together what I hope is going to be a schedule for the fall and passed it by somebody, and they're like, you can't do that. I always think
yes, I can.
I'm not Alice no more. Let's go.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. I wore my Elvis sunglasses just for you. So, I just want to say, thank you very much for all you do too, buddy.
Love it.
So don't get that guy all excited about the second best all time. Don't get him excited.
Oh no.
Wholesome One wants me to leave. He wants me off this this live stream immediately.
Wholesome One, who's the best? Are you talking about Michael Jackson?
Michael.
Too, man. Those are fighting.
Michael Joseph Jackson.
Who said that? Who said the king was down?
People think I care about college football, but man, you bring that argument up, and we better take it down the alley or something. I don't know.
And Mark's ready to fight.
Exactly. My usual response is when people ask me about the greatest is I put 1. Elvis Presley, number 2. It doesn't matter. That's usually my response.
I think that's why I love you, Mark Rogers.
That's good enough.
I think that's why I love you.
Right,
it doesn't matter.
So everybody popped in pretty much all at the same time. That's on me. I didn't schedule this. Y'all made it whenever you could. I appreciate it. I'm not knocking anybody. You do you doing your schedule. You came in whenever you can. But we are up on the time slot, so Hurricane T2Y, man, right under the bell. I know Flo dropped, but that puts our Miami count back up to 3.
Okay. Wait a minute. Here you go.
The third time we've had to hear this.
It's a takeover. It's a takeover.
Man.
Oh man! First of all,
what did I sign up for? My gosh. What's going on,
everybody? Pigskin Pete and everybody on the panel. What's going on?
Not much. You actually slid in right before it's time to wrap up. So
yeah, just got home. It's a lot of flooding going on around my neighborhood right now. Yeah, it's
at least you were safe being home.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's thundering and lightning right now.
Well, I mean, we can't hear the thunder and lightning, but it still sounds like it. It sounds like you're in.
It's really muffled.
Yeah, it sounds like a hurricane's coming through.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So, all right. So here's what I like to do at the end of my live shows. Dadgum, we got X-Wing popping in too. X-Wing, you're just in time to get your last word in, because here's what I like to do at the end of my live shows. I like to go around to all my guests and give them the last word, their last word, before we get out of here. So X-Wing, man, you popped in right in time.
Sorry I was late. I was eating Logan's. So
hey, better late than never. And you know what? I'm going to start with you. You get to get in your last word, even though you just popped in. How about that?
What do I say?
You can talk about your team, college football, or trash talk me. Pick your choice.
I don't got nothing to say about West Virginia. I think they're gonna have a great year with JT Daniels, man. I have faith in that dude. So I think
I'll take it.
Year. Yeah, I mean you're not in the SEC, so I don't got no beef with you. So
that's fair. That is fair.
But yeah, roll tide, and we're gonna win it all this year.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. And I'm not kissing rear end because he kissed West Virginia's rear end. Alabama's going to be historically great.
Yeah, I think y'all going to have a 4-9-3 season this year.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for popping in.
X-Wing, tell them about your fantasy football.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a fantasy league, but like, it's not really that serious, just for fun. But you know, I mean, if you go on my channel, I have like a video. I think it's the second video I put on my channel. It has a link to the fantasy league if y'all want to join. But
okay, that's fair. I actually like to join a lot of football fantasy leagues, so I might check it out.
Yeah, check it out, man.
I got you. Well, thanks for popping by.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Better late than never. I know you're a busy guy.
I'm a very busy, important person. Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Very busy and important. The trifecta. Hurricane 22Y, man. Sorry about all the flooding and stuff, but last word. You can talk about Miami, the ACC.
West Virginia, go ahead and come to the ACC so we can kick your ass like we always did.
Hey.
And to the SEC, F y'all. I'm out. All right. Thank you, Golden Blue Dude. Appreciate all the videos that you put out each and every day. Sometimes 3-4 of them. I watch them all. Trust me.
It's a sickness, man. It is a sickness. Hey, but I appreciate you popping by, man. Stay safe, all right?
All right. Congratulations on the 10K, boss.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We'll go to Mark Rogers, the busy guy. He needs a nap. You need a nap, Mark.
Is that because you know I need a nap, or I look like I need a nap?
Both.
Don't answer that. All right. You guys reminded me that I'm overdue to tweet something about Elvis being the greatest. So I got to go do that right now. I'm long overdue. I haven't done that in the last couple hours. So that would be one. Number two would be, again, congrats on the 10K. It's phenomenal. We love having you on the West Virginia show on Friday nights, GBD. You've made that happen. That's a great thing. Love seeing everybody else on here. Hope everyone's doing well. And we got guys running into each other in about 13 days. So we can all be happy about that.
I'm excited.
Even if it is Vanderbilt in Hawaii, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm still going to watch it. Watch it.
I mean, I'm
eyes glued to the screen. Eyes glued to the screen.
We appreciate you, Mark. Thanks for your dedication, and thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Appreciate it. See you guys later.
See you, Mark.
Go, Michael.
See you, buddy.
Come on, Mark.
Good gosh. Wholesome Holloway, man. I'm scared to ask for your last word.
Well, I'm usually respectful, man. I mean, even in my response earlier, off-season Holloway is a little different. I'm gonna talk my trash, but now we got our pads on, and these coaches are out here working their behinds off, and now it's a year-round thing. It's not like how it used to be, where they kind of had an off season and you had time to do other stuff. I mean, Now it's about, you respect the game, you respect the brands, you respect the teams, and now you hope for only thing you hope and pray for is that your rival team loses and that everybody kind of stays healthy. You don't root for people to get injured. I'm one of those people that I don't like to see injuries. I know what a lot of young men go through, and a lot of what these coaches go through to get them there. So, college football wise, I'm hoping and praying for a healthy season, man. We've had a couple of them where it's been some good seasons where the best players stay healthy and they move on, but I'm hoping that we get that this season. I'm even one of those weirdos that like turns injuries off on NCAA because I just want to see him play, play a healthy season.
Hey, I'm right there with you, man. It makes sense. I like
it.
Yeah,
I hope my Canes
versus
do well.
the best.
Exactly. I hope my Canes do well, but I also understand that it is year one, and I understand trying to implement a winning culture into a program that's been kind of mediocre to booty cheeks for 14, 15 years, it's pretty hard to do. And you have to change the psyche of the young men, not just about lifting weights and new schemes and new uniforms and new props. It's really a psychological change, and that doesn't happen in 8 to 9 months. You have to go out there and get it done with the W's, man. So hopefully Miami can get that done. I know Coach Cristobal is the guy to get it in. Hopefully we get a chance to see some great, healthy football, and hopefully everybody has a good rest of their season. Golden Blue Dude, thank you so much for reaching out to me and reaching 10K. I love your conference expansion and all the wacky ideas you got with people going to different conferences and FCS moves up. I love it, man. I really appreciate it. So not the last Kane to get out of here. We still got one Kane holding strong.
Yeah.
So God bless, and as always, go Canes, baby.
Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Awesomely said.
Thanks for stopping by. All right, so we'll go to the DGD podcast. What's your last word, buddy?
Well, to all the Georgia fans in here, listen, I understand you want to repeat. If you're not familiar with it, I said it earlier, it's not easy to do. So just because I come in here and say, hey, to make it to the playoffs would be okay, don't get up my ass about it. I'm just saying, I'm just being statistically reasonable here.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, other than that, though, man, listen, obviously Georgia familiar with our scrimmage yesterday, right? Full pads, right? Tackling for the first time live, full pads all the way.
I'm excited.
Listen, football season's fucking here, okay? It's here. You know what? 20 days right now. 20 days from now, you're looking at duck hunting in the bins, right? Shout out to the Spike Squad. Hey, black out the bins if you're a Georgia fan. You know what I'm talking about. Golden Blue, though, man. Hey, congrats on the 10K. Congrats on putting out getting that mark out there. That's pretty difficult. But nah, man, I wish you nothing but the best and all the continued success. Other than that, though, hey, go Dogs.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Absolutely, my man.
Appreciate you. We will go to D4 Sports.
Yeah, buddy. Congrats on the 10K, of course. Appreciate you reaching out and having me on here. Love everybody's channels that's been on here. Horns up. It's 4-14, and Oklahoma still sucks. See y'all later.
That's fair. That's fair. Thanks for stopping by. Pigskin Pete, man, I know you're busy. Your time's valuable. What's your last word?
Yes. I'll keep it short and sweet. Congratulations on 10,000. You earned it. I tell people all the time, nothing's given to you on YouTube. Everything is earned. Somebody can point you towards somebody's channel, but nobody can make you watch it. The only reason people stick around and actually watch is because they enjoy it. And so just like anything else in life, you put in the work and you reap the rewards, and you have done that, my friend. So congratulations.
Thanks, Pigskin. I appreciate that, especially coming from you. One of the first channels that I watched, man. So I appreciate it.
All right. See all y'all later.
Enjoy the rest of your
Take it
Sunday,
easy, Pete.
So that brings us to the fools that is known as traveling.
Right. Now I'm stuck hanging out with just the two of you. Hey, nobody told me this is how this was going to happen.
By the way, Orange and Black dude, that sounds really familiar to Golden Blue, or really similar to Golden Blue dude. Is that just me? Really similar to Golden Blue dude?
What's that? Orange and Black dude?
Orange and Black dude. Oklahoma State fan, thank you for the $5 donation. Talking to you, Traveling Fools says, Traveling Fools has a great radio voice. I agree. I will definitely check out his channel later. You may have just picked up a subscriber based on your voice, Traveling Fools.
Hey, I've picked up worse things based on my voice. So I think I welcome a subscriber.
Exactly. You just hit 1,000, so you're able to get that YouTube monetization going.
Oh yeah. I'm just rolling around in the dough now. So we're headed to Disney World soon, and
nice.
it's all rolling. But hey, man,
you
this is about
1,000 subscribers. Where are you going, Traveling Fools?
Right, I'm going to the dollar store. But no, man, congrats to you on the 10K. That's totally awesome. I remember when I first met this guy. A little over 2 years ago, you were sitting around 500 subscribers, or maybe even less, right. Right around in there. Nobody even knew who the hell he was. And now look at him. You're YouTube famous. And now he is YouTube famous. And I'm proud to know you.
I don't know about that now. I don't know about that.
Hey man. Hey, I'm proud to know you and call you my friend. So that's a cool thing.
Likewise. Seriously.
And I mean, this is like the year of Golden Blue Dude. And he is the Slob Olympics champion. 10,000 YouTube subscribers, and West Virginia might go have a winning season. We'll put it that way, and that would be awesome.
Contend for the Big 12, maybe.
Hey, with your luck and with what you got rolling, I wouldn't put it past me right now. So
there's one more thing you forgot. If Team Raj hadn't cheated, who would have won that softball game?
Oh man, Team Fools rules, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows
cheating with the ringer, with an extra player in the outfield, with an umpire as a fallback. They had a replacement umpire go up to the camera and say, "I am cheating for Team Fools." Like, if you're cheating, you're not going to go up to a camera and say that you're cheating. So they had a couple of cheat codes in, and they had a fallback code. And they still only won by 1.
Hey, just don't tell anybody this. This is just between us. But next year, I haven't decided who it is yet, but I'm gonna sick dogs on them. And I've got calls into Chipper Jones, and I think he might be our extra player on the field next year. So
that'll work.
But please don't say anything to anybody. But yeah,
no, it will not be leaked. It will not be leaked for sure.
But hey, now, man,
TF, I think this is the first time. I think it's the first time you've been on our show since you donated those items to us to give away this month, and we want to thank you. And be sure all of our subscribers go over and sub you up. And I want to say that I was really proud last night to have been your Jeopardy champion on your game for Saturday night. That was a lot of fun last night.
Yeah, you rocked it last night, Joey. Joey came in. He beat everybody out, even Mr. Duggar. And Mr. Duggar does love everybody. And everybody loves Mr. Duggar. But Joey pulled off the win by 1 point last night. So he is our Jeopardy champion for the week.
Wow.
Congratulations, Joey.
Tide Guy was asking, they had 5 outfielders. Yeah, I think, that's right. Because you're supposed to have 4, and they had 5.
Oh yeah, that's all behind us. But yeah, I mean, we'll play with an extra shortstop next year like they did. So
the number isn't what's important. What's important was we agreed on wasn't it 10 and 10, and then with the backup player, but they threw their backup player in the game, so they had 1 extra player in the outfield more than us. Now, if we would have agreed on 11. And they played 11, and we just, decided not to play 11. We only played 10. That would be a different story.
Hey, realistically, it just gives us something to argue about until next March when the 40-yard dash happens.
Exactly. And I will be arguing.
and then we can argue about the 40-yard dash for 6 months, and then we'll go back to arguing about softball. Yeah, it just keeps it all fun.
Always something. It is always something. Yeah.
But hey, man, big congrats to you on your 10K. That's awesome, man. I'm like I said, I'm proud to have known you from when you were this small channel, and now that you're this YouTube celebrity.
Just a wee lad.
Yeah, I heard. Aren't you and Logan Paul doing like a charity boxing tournament next month or something?
Yeah, I'm training for that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, man, thanks so much for having me on. and big hats off to you. Congratulations, you and Joey. Y'all have built a really cool thing, and that's awesome. So I'm proud to be friends with both of you. Thank you for having me on here. Well. And let's keep on keeping on, man. Let's keep the grind, and let's make beautiful, wonderful things happen.
Hey, college football season almost here. That's what I'm excited about.
Exactly. And the U, man, we're back. We're back. At least we have 13 days to keep saying we're back because we are kings of the off season. So I love you guys. Love everybody out there. Make sure everybody supports Golden Blue Man and Joey. And thank you very much. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See you,
later. See you guys.
Guys, go sub him. He has a great channel. He really does. And he's a great supporter of Golden Blue. Two really good. Three great radio voice. 3 really good reasons to sub Trailing Fools. Joey, I'm going to let you get your last word in, buddy.
My last word today is just going to be thanking everybody for your support, and let you know that, we have a podcast now. So be sure and check us out. We're on Apple, Spotify, Substack. So be sure and check us out on our podcast. And also hit up our merchandise store. I'll get you some Golden Blue Dude attire there. Just go to goldenbluedude.com. That's our website, goldenbluedude.com, and you can get to anything that's Golden Blue Dude from that site. So we made it really easy for you to get anywhere you want to go with Golden Blue Dude. Exactly. And congratulations to you, man. You're doing great. And this man can pump out the videos, can he? He puts them out constantly.
Even if it's nonsense, I'll still pump it out.
Hey, ain't nothing nonsense. Anything's possible. Until you say that's true. Hawaii's going to the SEC, I'm with you until you say Hawaii's going to the SEC, and then I'm probably going to have to drop out.
That's not going to happen. Great supporter and the behind-the-scenes guy, Joey Foster. Appreciate you, bud. 10,000 not possible without you. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Y'all need to thank Joey. He does a lot behind the scenes, but I need to catch up on some super chats real quick. Terry Hanley, thank you for the $10 donation. Says this is for having Flo on your show. Yeah, Flo is he's a very busy guy as well, but a great YouTuber. I'm glad he was able to pop in. Tim Prangley, thank you for the $20 donation. Congratulations on 10,000. You're only getting started. That's a fact. You guys are creating great content and even better community of college football fans. Thank you all, guys, for bringing us all together. I mean, that's a big deal right there. It's not just about college football. It's about bringing all sorts of fan bases together to talk about college football. That's one of the main reasons why I started this YouTube channel, because we all kind of get within our own box and we forget there's other fan bases out there and they have different point of views. Hillbilly Skeptic, thank you for the $5 donation. Says, which conference do the Miami fans want to join and why? From what I'm hearing, the Big Ten, they feel disrespected by the SEC because they weren't on the first 4. They definitely don't want to stay in the ACC. They feel like they're falling apart. So Miami fans, for the most part, they want Miami to head to the Big Ten. Orange and Black Dude, Oklahoma State fan, thank you for the $5 donation. Just curious, what happened the last time Miami played Ohio State? Any help would be appreciated. Only have 55 subscribers so far. Okay. All right. Y'all go check out Orange and Black Dude, Oklahoma State fan. I'm going to go over there and sub him up myself. I know it's difficult when you first start and you're trying to get subscribers. So if y'all get a chance, go sub him up, show your support. I think I have a couple more. Let me make sure. Yeah, Orange and Black Dude, Oklahoma State fan, $5 donation. Man, supported the heck out of the live show today. I think I already read this one. Trailing Fools has a great radio voice. I will definitely check out his channel later. And indeed, Traveling Fools did pick up a subscriber. I think we're caught up. So we're going to wrap up, guys. I appreciate everybody that stopped by and check out the show. On the way out, make sure to hit the like button. That helps the video. Even though it's not going to be live anymore, it still helps the video hit the YouTube algorithm and get suggested more, and it'll get more views. So I would greatly appreciate it. See, here you go. Wholesome Holloway, Miami fan, Big Ten. I'm telling you guys, they want the Big Ten. The disrespect is real, and they don't want to stay in the ACC, especially if it gets picked apart. So there you go. There's the proof. But anyways, 10,000 subscribers. You know what? The channel turns 3 years old on August 24th. So we got there before 3 years. It's been a grind. Our first video came out on August 24th, 2019, and it wasn't even a real video. It was more like logos and music, but I have to count it. That was the first video. Then on March 8th, 2021, that's when we hit 1,000. So it took us a year and a half to get 1,000. I mean, that took forever. So I was thinking, man, it took us a year and a half to get 1,000. This is not looking good. But then a year and 4 months later, we're at 10,000 subscribers. So it took us less time to gain the next 9,000 subscribers than it did the first 1,000 subscribers. So I am totally blown away. And like I said at the beginning of this live show, there would be no Golden Blue Dude without you guys. I'm just here rambling, talking nonsense most of the time, and you guys keep watching, and you guys keep hitting the subscribe button. So I'm going to keep rolling with it, and hopefully you guys keep rolling with it. But for this live show, we're done. Another live show coming tomorrow. We do weekday live shows, but I don't know what time. So if you're a subscriber, hit the notifications. I don't know when I'm going to go live. I have to fit it in whenever I can. And if you're not a subscriber, jump on board the Golden Blue Dude Express. We just hit 10,000, and we're looking for 25,000 by the national championship. An enormous, enormous goal. Some would say crazy, but if we can get people to keep subscribing, then we can reach that goal. So we can't do it without you. Please hit the subscribe button. That's it for Golden Blue Dude today. I'm out, guys. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday.